Yo, we on? Charlamagne, we on?
Stupid.
Classic. You remember that Ray J? Yo, Charlamagne, we live? Yo, we live?
The nigga was coked up.
Yo, that still is the funniest
You seen that interview?
shit.
The old Ray J interview?
I think so.
That shit is the funniest one.
You had 7 Rolls Royces, nigga. Check my bio, nigga.
He was about to fight Fab, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I socked that nigga.
Yeah.
That nigga's. I wasn't doing no concert. That Floyd, my brother. I play on that piano all the time. He says about I socked that nigga in his mouth.
That's when Fab threw up the clip of him playing at Floyd crib.
Funny shit, son.
I socked that nigga. The whole time, like everybody's thinking, like, yo, this is Ray J. This is Brandy's brother.
Nigga still Brandy's brother. Nah, he got a little bit more.
Nah, he got a little more clout now.
Yeah.
Niggas don't really fit. Ray J getting that bread too with that Raytronic shit. He getting that bread. But yeah, that's by far the most classic interview ever. Then I'm gonna get them booty goons. They gonna drop his top. Fab was like, hey, yo, nobody dropped my top. I don't know nothing about no booty goons. Nobody dropped my top. He was saying wild shit. Yo, that was the funniest shit ever. Then the video came out. That was like
the nigga playing the piano?
No, the video of the fight.
Oh yeah.
And it was like Fab jacking Ray J up. It was like
The nigga said nobody jacked me up.
nobody jacked me up.
Nobody jacked me up. Like yo, my nigga, it's a video. That's you.
We ain't watching the same video.
Ain't that you, my
watching
nigga?
the same video.
Shit was funny.
Yo, so
What year was that? 2004, 5 maybe.
No.
Nah, it was
That
later
was
than that.
2007,
It might have been
2008.
eight. So we back, Deeply Opinionated Podcast.
One more time.
How you guys been, man? How's everything going? How's life? You laugh like you got a lot to say. You got a 2 minute.
Yeah, you get 2 minutes.
I
Sum it up.
ain't gonna hold you, man. Life is okay, man.
Life is okay.
Life is okay, man.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna
same. You
Life
know
is
what?
good.
You know, life is good. You know what I'm saying? Life is real good. But you know what I found out though? Like, this hit me personally, man. Is that when I always look at when people say they hating on somebody or somebody's hating. I'm like, man, people don't be hating like that. But then somebody's hating on me.
Was they hating on nobody hating like that?
Yeah, but and you know the crazy part about it is somebody I don't even know who this person is per se. I don't know them. Like I've met them before, but we don't have any type of relationship. We're talking like I wouldn't even know to say hi to this person if I saw them in public.
Female or male?
Let's not even talk about that.
That's important though.
We keep it in the
That's
anonymous.
important.
But no, it's not. That's not important.
Okay.
Sex is not important to the story. That's why I'm leaving it out. But it's like we from the same area, we from the same place. You know what I'm saying? Same school, and we live in the same area, and to find out that somebody like that you have that type of connection with is hating on you.
What's the hate though?
The hate, cause I guess
Because your light skin, huh?
No, I think it's because they threatened by my presence.
Okay. That's usually when it comes.
You know what I'm saying? You either infiltrating on somebody's money, or their pride, their legacy, their persona. You know what I mean? Being a new kid, we just talked about being a new kid, right? So when a new kid come in, you feel some type of way. You might have to prove yourself or do something extra, flex a little bit, in order to
or talk down.
yeah, exactly, to make yourself more to more appealing. So, but my thing is, when someone like that, I didn't think that person would even be capable of hating, because I would look at it as we from the same area, went to the same school. If anything you doing, regardless if it's the same thing I'm doing, whether it's something completely different, if I can support you, knowing that we in this distant place together, I'm gonna do it.
But you know, the most hate comes from the people that's most familiar with.
That's crazy, and you know that's
The most
that's
familiar.
the moral of the story. I'm glad you said
It's
that.
so funny that you said that, because I just did something today on purpose, right? So, you know, on Facebook, when you post something, it only lets you tag 100 people, right? So I made
Only that you tag. I ain't know this shit. That's
I'm like at 5,000. I would
okay.
rather tag all 5,000 about the podcast instead of just 100 people.
Right.
So, well, they only let you tag 100 people, right? So, I made a post, and I tagged 100 people, and it was 100 people that I know. I know them all personally, right? I made the exact same post, and I tagged 100 people that I don't know. They just follow me. I don't know who they are. They just, whatever, they just follow me. And I did it separately to see how many shares it would get. So one has my friends, people I know personally, and the other one has people I don't know at all. And I'm interested to see which one's gonna get the most shares. Right now, because I said I was gonna wait.
No, it's early. They're not gonna get the formula until
I said it was. I'm gonna wait 48 hours. But right now, the people I don't know are ahead a lot.
Yeah.
They up 15.
And that's unfortunate, man. That's crazy.
They're
You wouldn't think it
15.
would be that way.
But you know what? I seen somebody post. They said, I'm going to stop getting upset. I'm going to stop expecting me from people. Stop expecting the level of person I am, because that's what makes me rare and great.
Yeah.
I'm rare.
Different.
I'm rare because what I'm expecting, that's what makes me rare. So if you know that you're rare, you can't expect the level of consciousness or the level of respect or the level of something in return.
That's a bar.
From somebody, you know?
Not only is that preach, but that's a great segue into today's topic, though.
Well, before we get to today's topic, how y'all feel about the NBA Finals?
We knew it was gonna happen, right?
Nah, we didn't know.
Nah, I didn't know.
We didn't.
I didn't project.
First of all, I gotta apologize.
I projected
I was
on the
wrong. I said KD was not gonna play. I actually lost a bet. I said KD wouldn't play more than 10 minutes. He ended up playing 12. So I lost on that. But I said he wasn't gonna play. I said he shouldn't play. I said it was Achilles. And I think it was his Achilles the whole time. They just told us it was a calf injury. And he ended up, now it's his Achilles. So.
Right.
Is there such thing as an Achilles strain? Can you strain an
Yeah,
Achilles?
you can pull.
Yeah, because it's a muscle.
Yeah,
It's not. It's a
pull it.
My thing is, I only ever hear about an Achilles tear. I never hear about an Achilles strain.
Because
Well, he snapped it. He didn't tear it.
Because usually it does separate. Because you ever went to the gym and worked on your Achilles? No, it's probably the weakest shit in your body. So
Things like, how do you even work that muscle?
right, how do you go work on your Achilles?
Yeah, but I think
tighten up my Achilles. Like, come on. So like, there's no way to work it out. So when it go. But I mean, of course, when I thought this had a chance when Clay was still playing. When Clay went down, of course
he made me mad when he messed his hammy up because he was trying to kick his feet out, trying to get the foul call.
Right.
Like, you can't be looking for that. You just got. I understand we all do.
It's part of basketball.
Yeah, it is. But at the same time, you shoot too good to be. You know what I mean? To be worried about that. Go up and shoot your shot. For you to get injured doing something like that, to me, is stupid.
But that's not when he got injured.
He got injured trying to do the dunk, though.
No. He tore. Remember, because he didn't play a game. He sat out game 4 because
Right,
that's
but he tore his ACL now.
Right. No. But I'm not talking about that.
You saying he like
his first injury?
Right.
Oh,
Right.
Okay.
Feel me? Because his first injury was his tearing a calf, was his calf strain. So he sat out a game. Then he came back, and that's when he hurt his knee. But I was mad that he was hurt, that he had to miss that game. Because if he would have played that game, the series might have been different, and they might not have had that desperation in that last game to get the gentleman swept. So to get that gentleman sweep. But I thought it was. Anyway, I thought it was a good.
They're gonna have mad people talking about
play.
try to put an asterisk by the Raptors win because it's like mad
it's
people
an
got injured,
though.
but it's not an asterisk because
No, that injury is part of the game.
Injury is a part of the game. It's like
had a better bench.
Yeah,
that's the moral part of it. But
Yeah.
that's not what they're gonna say.
Yeah.
Though. They're not gonna say.
That's correct.
I think that's
say-
like
No,
they're not a basketball.
They're not going to talk about the injuries no more. Unless something like this
Because-
happens again. They stopped talking about LeBron until this happened.
No.
When LeBron and Kyrie and Kevin went down, they stopped talking about that until Kevin Love and Clay went down. Now that's relevant again. They're going to forget all about this when they talk about it in the future.
So, and they probably will, but it's analysts' job to bring up the antagonistic point too. When the the other analyst is supposed to say, well,
That's that drama.
KD got hurt, they're going to say that forever. Somebody's always going to bring up that point.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't make for good content if you had a bunch of motherfuckers just agreeing with shit. That's what
Right. That's why I say it's never going to go away.
Somebody got to be like the anti-hero in the situation.
Just like LeBron, when they won that championship, when Ray Allen hit that three in the corner, do you know that when Ray Allen shot that three, they had already brought the ropes around the court for the other team to celebrate? Because after he hit the shot, he started saying, "Put them damn ropes up, put them goddamn ropes up." Because they was at home, they was at Miami, and they had already brought the ropes for the other team to celebrate their championship.
That's crazy.
Do you know if Ray Allen didn't hit that three? LeBron missed his last 8 shots and had 3 turnovers. If Ray Allen did hit that shot and the other team won the championship, what would the story be about LeBron?
That's why I say Ray saved LeBron's legacy in Miami.
He definitely did.
That's a big shot.
LeBron missed his last 8 shots and had 3 turnovers. That story would have been completely different if he didn't hit that tray in the corner. And LeBron had nothing to do with that whole shit. Because people forget, the rebound got tapped out. But who shot the shot that the rebound got tapped out? LeBron.
That's wild.
How y'all feel about the trades and all that was going on?
It is what it is. I mean,
Niggas is mad now. Lakers is back. That's what it is. It's cool. It's cool. Don't worry about it.
I don't.
Lakers is back?
I don't care. Yes, they are back. But
They're not back. I'm gonna tell you why they're not back. Because what
I don't want to hear nothing you have to say.
No, I'm saying
because
so
LeBron and AD, everybody's trying to get there now. Kim was trying to get there.
seriously,
That's not
all
true.
that shit.
Kimba thought about
Stop.
saying.
Stop.
Kimba thought about taking less max money to stay right here in Charlotte.
No,
He considered it.
he's out. Kim is out, bro.
But he's going somewhere. I don't know if he's going to LA.
They want to get there. They want to get there. They even talking about getting what's the name back.
To give him that money, to give any
Kimba
third
will
match
pull-
player.
Kimba will pull a LeBron James, go to Lakers for a year, win a championship, go back to Charlotte and be
That's
like,
not my point.
let me get one here.
To give any third player that same type of contract, money and all that shit, they'd have to do it like the Miami did it. Like people had to agree to take less money because you need a bench.
Right, but
So
they
you pull into
Golden State got Boogie on a 1-year deal, $1 million for
You
1 year.
get Kimba on a 1 year deal.
Not
for
Kimba,
that.
but you can get Kimba, and the most important thing is to put shooters around LeBron.
What would be the best scenario for that situation as a player coming in?
I think Kimba fits better than Kyrie because Kimba can be ball dominant, but he'll pass first. He'll score because he has to.
I saw today.
You crazy?
I saw
I think
today.
Kimba a better
Why,
fit.
though?
I saw today that.
Why not on there?
I saw that today that the Lakers are trying to get what's his name back. What's the young boy with the hair that they sent to?
Julius Randle?
No, the young boy with the hair that they
Oh,
sent
Brooklyn.
to.
Are you talking about? You talking about?
LiAngelo Ball?
Yeah,
No.
no,
Not
no,
D'Angelo,
no.
D'Angelo.
D'Angelo Russell. Yep.
They trying to get him back.
I saw that today.
Would you
I
go
don't
back?
think that's gonna
Huh?
happen.
Would you go back?
Fucking right. It's LA. The Lakers.
But you create
Oh,
your own
no,
legacy
team.
in Brooklyn.
True.
He was a
But
man.
Kyrie
But
about
they're
to go
trying to
there.
get Kyrie. He's
Yeah.
gonna be playing behind Kyrie.
Yeah. They might play him together.
You even had to.
But
No,
D'Angelo
you
not
have
gonna
to.
he ain't
D'Angelo's
gonna get the
point
same
guard.
guy.
That bad
He
team
ain't
with
getting
two
the same
point guards on the
shots.
floor at the same time.
Who?
Yeah, I think it's possible.
Who?
I think it's possible.
You said it's mad teams.
The Bulls did last year.
And
They
where
put-
was the Bulls at?
I'm just saying that they're not. It's not Kyrie and motherfucking.
Right.
Yeah,
What-
it's two different. It's two different type of beats.
What
bro.
team ever had 2 point guards playing at the same time was successful?
Scoring point guard.
Scoring point guards.
That's a good question.
Right. Come on, man.
Who's to say it's not possible?
No, what I'm saying is he's the man. He would now have to move over. Just like everybody thought Boston was going to be super good because they added Kyrie. Nah, they had trouble all year because it fucked up the whole rotation. It fucked up niggas' playing time. It fucked up niggas' money. What's name was about to get a super fucking deal.
Brown.
No, not Brown. The point guard from last year.
Are you talking about?
The tough nigga.
Damn, the scary nigga, Scary Terry, Rozier.
Yeah, Rozier.
Oh, yeah.
Rozier was about
Rozier.
to get Rozier. This was Rozier's contract year, and he was on the fucking bench. Why? Because Kyrie's here. But what did he do last year? Took them
He was
niggas.
hooping.
That nigga killed.
He was about to get
They
it,
had the Scary Terry shirt, took the mask.
That shit was
off.
fire.
Yeah,
but
that
they
fire.
was about to get. He was about to get a deal.
Yeah.
And then in your contract year, you got to sit down behind Kyrie. Now
It
people
is
now,
Kyrie, though.
now people can. Where did he take him to?
That's what I'm saying. I get why you play Kyrie over Terry Rozier, but it's like the balance of the court and other people scoring, like the Brown kid, nigga, he went missing all last year. I don't think this nigga had a game above like 25 points.
Because they weren't getting along.
I didn't like Tyree.
They didn't feel like, what's the white boy name?
Brandon Hayward.
They didn't feel like he was supposed to be starting.
He shouldn't have.
So he was fucking up the rotation. And that's what they didn't like. They didn't like the
It
rotation.
took that nigga a half a season to get in the swing of things. And
They
then-
changed the
and
whole
then-
offense for Kyrie and Dude.
Yeah.
They ran a whole different offense last year.
That's why.
So they learned a new offense. They learned a new offense, and he threw in.
But Brandon was playing with that core team before he got injured. Kyrie wasn't playing with that team, and they had that success, and then he came in. So I understand why they changed the offense, but they were a guard-heavy team before they got Kyrie. And now you got a guard-heavy team, and now you put a new guard on the team who is ball dominant.
But they was a guard-heavy team that just shared the ball.
Right, but now
And
the
took
ball
good
is stagnant
shots.
because Kyrie is different.
That's why I say Kyrie ain't always the best option.
It's a bunch of niggas
That's
sitting around
why-
watching him.
Kyrie-
So you agree Kimba would be
Trying to
better
create.
fit?
For who?
Of the
Kim-
guards
For the
available.
Celtics?
I think Kim was way more ball dominant than Kyrie is. You ever been to a Hornets game?
Right, but is that because Kimba can pass, but is Kimba on a team where he needs to score more and be the overall best player, or would he thrive more in a scenario where he'd be like a Fred VanVleet role, where he would predominantly, catch and shoot threes from LeBron, or driving and creating with LeBron and AD and shooters all around him?
Me personally,
That shit is a great place.
Me personally, I'm an old school guy. I want an old school point guard. I want a point guard that has 12 points.
Right, so you
12
like
assists,
so you like ball.
and 12 rebounds. I'm okay with Rondo. I love Rondo.
No.
And that's why I like.
Rondo,
And
I'm
you need a
okay
point
with
guard
Rondo.
that can shoot.
That's
You
why
need a
I
guard
like-
that can shoot. You need a guard that can
For
shoot.
who? For what team?
For the playoffs.
No, you don't have to have a point
Time out.
guard that can shoot. It could be at least
Name
one player
a
on the
team.
court that don't shoot.
Name the team with a starting point guard that can't shoot that made it to the playoffs and
Celtics.
advanced.
The
Right.
Celtics.
Tyree was their point guard.
I'm talking
No.
about when they had Ray John,
Rondo
Paul
was the point guard.
twice. They did that twice.
What are you talking
Nigga
about?
can't shoot.
That was
shit.
early in his
Anything
career.
is possible.
But
That
he
was
couldn't
early
shoot.
in his career,
But
and they also had
he
Ray
still
Allen.
couldn't shoot.
And they also had Ray
He's a
Allen.
playmaker.
You had Rondo,
So-
Ray Allen,
But that's what I'm saying.
Kevin
but,
Garnett,
but that's
and
what
Paul
I'm saying.
Pierce.
But that's what I'm saying. Rondo can be the point guard on a LeBron, AD, and another
But that
superstar
was then.
team.
This is
You
never
don't need
going to
another
go under all his
You just need
roles.
another score.
I watched Lakers
Right.
game. I loved it. I loved it when I saw it. When I watched Rondo shoot 9 straight threes, he was 0 for 9. He ended up being like 3 for 19 for the game.
But you don't need him to score though.
You don't need Rondo to hit
But
threes.
if you need him to be a threat so teams can play up, so you can properly run
His
the pick and
drive
roll.
is his drive is a
Time
time
out. Are you gonna help defense with Rondo, or are you gonna play him out on the 3?
He can make a layup, so you have to help. him.
I'm asking.
But
Are you gonna help
also-
off Rondo,
also-
or are you gonna stay
but
on the
also-
3? Answer
also-
my question though.
What?
You gonna help off Rondo, or you gonna stay out there on the 3 with him?
You're gonna if he's shooting it, you're gonna help off.
But he most likely
he's
is
still
not
a threat to you.
Rondo's out there on the wing. I'm not even running at him. I'm gonna be in help defense all day long.
But Rondo
gonna have.
But
the
Rondo
big-
also closes the gap on you too, so he'll put the ball on the floor and come to you where you have to play defense.
Right.
True. I'm gonna live with Rondo.
But Rondo knows he's not a
Mid-range
three-point-
game.
He knows that
he
defense,
knows
he's not
that
gonna shoot
he's
that.
not gonna do that.
He's just gonna close the gap.
My point is, those are possessions that you need to score on. That's why he needs to be able to shoot. Because if that's Devin Booker out there, you damn sure one ain't helping, so the lane's
If
more
it work-
open.
if
And
it
if you
work-
don't, he's gonna kill
If it
you.
worked in Boston, it can work anywhere.
Again, one time. Then let's talk about now. With
Twice.
Steph Curry,
Twice,
Damian
then.
Lillard, Damian Lillard.
Twice.
Right, but again, he had great shooters.
I'm
around.
not talking
the
about-
one of the best shooters of all time, second greatest shooter of all time.
What I'm saying is, with LeBron and Anthony Davis, me, you, and Tyreek can suit up, and
Yeah,
we going to the
true.
playoffs.
I agree with that. Yeah.
We going to the playoffs.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. It don't matter. You can sacrifice one point guard that can't shoot and go get a Kyle Korver.
I just don't think that with the availability of guards out there, going and getting and keeping Rondo, Rondo would be a great backup, but you need a guard that can shoot the 3 and be a threat.
It's not hard
that
to
way
find,
teams
man.
pressed up.
It's not hard to find a
that's what
point
I'm
guard that
saying.
can shoot.
That's what I'm saying. You can keep Rondo, but you need a point guard that can shoot.
Need?
It absolutely.
Lakers gonna be alright. They kept
100%
Kuzma, son. That was the best keep.
Come on, man.
I like Kuzma over.
You need a guard that's gonna make James Harden play defense. You need a guard that's gonna make Stephen Curry get tired of
Kuzma play
defense.
D. Kuzma play D.
He gonna guard Steph Curry.
He can.
Okay.
I don't know if you've been watching the playoffs, but Steph Curry, he's not really This is the first playoffs where he was like,
You see who was guarding him?
Good.
Danny Green, Kawhi Leonard, Fred VanVleet.
those people are not great defenders. Kawhi Leonard was not guarding Steph.
What? Yes, he did.
No, he wasn't guarding Clay.
No, he definitely guarded Steph too.
He got to step on switches.
On switches, but that wasn't his assignment.
Right, but no, I'm not saying he's assigned to him. If you switch in defense, you guarding everybody. So it doesn't matter who they switch off
So
of.
you can say the same thing for the big man. And the big man was guarding Steph too, because he switched sometimes too.
Well, no, you could probably stay on the 5 because you're not gonna have
But they
Marcus
did switch. What I'm
Gasol.
saying is
We're not gonna
it
have
did
Marcus
happen.
Gasol guarding Steph.
It did happen.
You
So
can head
if
on
you
those to
switch
get under it or over.
anybody who you can't say they're guarding the person if they switch. A big man can switch to Steph Curry. He's
Time
now
out, time
guarding
out.
him.
If Tyree's on my team, you're guarding Tyree. And every time down I call pick and roll and you switch on me and I go for 50, I was busting your ass the whole game. I don't care if you would have started on me or ended on me. Every bucket was on you.
But that didn't happen.
No, you know why it didn't happen? Because it would have been dumb to put Marcus Gasol on Steph Curry because Steph Curry would went for 50.
But what I'm saying
The easiest
is
50
when they lined up, Kawhi was guarding Clay.
Yeah,
he wasn't guarding Steph.
But my point is, you can't.
And how many times
you go from a Kawhi to Danny Green, Serge Ibaka, great defender, and then Pascal Siakam just long and play D. Was developed as an offensive player in the league.
If Kawhi was guarding Clay, how many ball screens were set by Clay for Steph? Not a lot.
They do run that little rub off though, so they can get shots.
Yeah, the little rub off, but it's not.
It works. You don't
It ain't even a hard. It ain't even a hard.
Right.
It's not supposed to. It's not supposed to be.
It's like niggas be great.
It's like a slip.
But they don't even have the chance. That's
like a slip.
That's not deep. He's shooting coming right off of that.
Exactly. So
he ain't patting them to death
So
and
he doesn't
crossing
even
them
need
up
to
and all
touch
that
him. He
other
doesn't even need
shit.
to touch him. The point is to create enough a second and a half of space so he can get a shot because that's all it takes for either one of them.
I don't like Kawhi in LA.
I don't like it either.
I don't like it.
I don't like it either. I think they need a guard and a couple shooters, and they'll be straight.
And we need a dog too, and we still got what's your name too.
Well, that's the thing. So if
JaVale
Kawhi
we still got
goes,
JaVale
I like
McGee, too.
JaVale. JaVale came out with
if
some
Kawhi
energy.
goes to LA, then Danny Green is going wherever Kawhi goes, and I think that would be a shooter. That would be a spot.
If the Lakers get Danny Green,
I
they're
don't
gonna
like
be
that.
tough.
It's ugly, but I
Danny
think
Green
it'll be
play
effective.
defense. You
It's too many.
crazy?
The ball gonna stop too many times. You got LeBron, Kawhi, Danny Green, and AD. The ball is not gonna move.
Kawhi don't sit on the ball though.
No. But
He don't sit on- he don't
Kawhi
sit on the ball.
wants to be the man though.
But he will sit on it a little bit though.
I mean, I think he understands his matchups and he takes advantage of whatever his matchups are. But if you watch like the
He wanna be
playoffs,
the man.
like he did.
He dribble
I
more
don't know if
than
he
Clay
wants to
do.
be the man.
No,
Like,
he does want to be the man.
I don't
That's
know,
clear.
son.
Time
Like
out.
you just proved I can take a team.
He calls for the ball at the end of the game. That's
what you're supposed
that's
to do.
what he wants. He wants to be that guy.
But he also
on
played for
18.
He also played for the Spurs, and he didn't have to do that. You had Tony Parker,
Right.
You had a Tim Duncan.
Right. So
where
you
it's
could
like
say he paid his
I'm
dues,
still
and now he
I'm
wanna be
more
the man.
effective
He
in my
nice.
younger days. I don't need the ball on a team where I have multiple options who can actually score, and I'm not the person
He's a bucket.
either trying to create. So he's a walking bucket, period. But if you got other walking buckets in your team, you set up a live play for AD, you pick and pop for LeBron. Like
Right.
you don't got to be the man. You can figure out how to make a play and still be the man because you facilitate.
I feel like Kawhi and LeBron is the same person.
Yeah.
But except for Kawhi shoots a little bit better than LeBron. But besides that, I feel like they're the same person. So I don't like them together.
Yeah.
I
No,
don't
they need
think
a
I don't
legit
think the
point
ball
guard and
flows
some more
with.
shooters. If they get Danny
I seen
Green,
less and less
Danny
talk.
Green go to the Lakers, they're gonna be the best defensive
But
team.
he's only talking about because Danny Green was talking about in his interview with the Breakfast Club. He's only like whatever Kawhi
I
do.
saw that in
That's what he's trying to do. Like if Kawhi stay, he's staying. If Kawhi leave, he going Kawhi, and he gonna take less money to be able to be with that player.
That's
Think
a
about Danny
dangerous
Green.
team.
Danny
Well,
Green.
two of his
Danny
best-
Green.
you
It
get
ain't
two of his
his
best
choice.
defenders in
It
the
ain't
league.
his
It
choice.
ain't his choice.
He
It
going
ain't
with
his, it ain't
Kawhi,
his
though.
choice. But that's his ideal scenario. He wanted to chip with Kawhi with the Spurs. He wanted to chip with Kawhi with the Raptors. Nigga, I'm riding this nigga coattails.
Yeah.
Wherever this nigga go, and all I gotta do is be a pick
Your
and pop
team
player.
automatically gets 2 of the top 10 defenders in the league.
3 of the top defenders in the league.
If you
AD.
go there. No. That's what I'm saying. No, because LeBron I don't care what nobody say. LeBron is not old yet. LeBron is still gonna be LeBron, especially this year. You're gonna see LeBron be on some stuff.
Steroids.
But what I'm gonna say this: if you get LeBron,
Brian on
AD,
steroids. Brian on steroids,
Danny
man.
Green,
I love Brian.
Rondo, Kyle Kuzma, all on the same team, you got the best defensive team in the league. And that's why I said that Kawhi going there wouldn't be fair because they would be the best defensive team. But if they get Danny Green locks down and he shoots, he's the perfect dude for that team.
My only fear with that is like you got to play all them niggas like mad minutes in close games and shit like that because your bench ain't gonna be shit.
That's why I said Kawhi can't go there because in the last 2 minutes of the game, Kawhi wants the ball in his hands. LeBron wants the ball in his hands, whether or not to create, and AD is going to run.
I think LeBron will take the backseat in that moment.
LeBron wants to create the moment.
I don't think so.
He doesn't mind
I think
anybody
he will
knocking
take
the
the
shot down.
I think in today's day, I think knowing what Kawhi is, LeBron would definitely take that backseat on the last play.
He would have to.
Any coach with any damn sense would see that. But that's the thing though, is that with Kawhi doesn't force shots at all. And that went against them in that game that Golden State won.
The nigga mechanics is A1, bro.
Exactly why LeBron wanted the ball in his hands. Because he would create for that shot for someone else. Whereas Kawhi is trying to get his shot off, not necessarily looking to pass. LeBron's designed to be a passer.
I watched the NBA playbacks of like the finals after the shit was done.
Talk about this shit like that.
Yeah, last point, I'm gonna let it go. The nigga shots are like some NBA 2K shit. Like, mad, just fluid, finesse, not rushed, not forced. Like, the nigga it's one thing to know yourself as a player, but it's a whole nother thing to know what the defense is giving you and then feeding off that shit. And I can't recall him taking a single bad shot. Like, even the shots where he was like forced to get it off, like through contact and shit like that, where he was getting fouled, it looked like he was doing what he was supposed to be doing. Not kicking it for a turnover, not forcing it for a dumbass 50-50 where it's like, it's kind of like a foul, but we don't really know, so we're not going to give it to you, and it could be going the other way. Like, he's getting close enough to the actual defender to make it to where he's going for an actual play, a shot, and if he's missing, however bad it looks, it's still like, that's a foul, like, because you don't touch him, that's a bucket.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All that shit look good.
Yep.
The fuck did I do? Did I fuck this up?
Yeah, talking with 2 hands and shit.
Yeah, be like that sometimes.
With the hookah. With the hookah.
Magic Disney Channel ass.
Yo, so the topic of today is from boys to men. And
Not the group.
Yeah, not the group.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Even though
now,
they do sound like the nigga who be talking in the shit though.
You know what's funny? When I was younger, I was in school. I was in middle school, and we had this dude. He was our janitor. He's our bus driver. He's our basketball coach, and he was my mentor.
Man, he Jamaican?
No, Mexican.
One or two.
He is black.
Yeah, man,
it's just he trying to get it how he lives.
He was on one day.
We took away whole. First of all,
I'm just saying.
First of all,
nigga had bad roads,
no. First of all, let's not disrespect Mr. Harvey. Second of all, we always up here talking about black people getting money. This man had like 4 or 5 different sources of income.
I ain't mad at that. You gotta pay a nigga that's working all the jobs. Right. Assistant principal, janitor. That's crazy.
Don't disrespect Mr. Harvey like that.
I know you talk first grade, second grade, third grade, 4th grade. Shout out to Mr. Harvey.
Niggas high school.
Hardest working man in America.
What? Yeah, he was getting it. You crazy. A black man in the early 2000s.
I know his wife was mad. This nigga don't never come home.
Let's
think I gotta go to practice.
He
gotta drive the bus.
We had this school program. It was called, and no pun intended, but it was called From Boys to Men, where we went and once a week we dressed up. We wore a shirt and tie with a suit, whatever you had, and we'd go around, take trips together, do group experiences, just to talk about. And it was mostly, I think the majority of us was just black. Mm-hmm. So that was wonderful thing.
It's kind of dope.
So I want to shout out Mr. Harvey. I'm glad you mentioned because that title just pops into my head. But shout out to Mr. Harvey, man.
Hardest working man in America.
Come on, shout.
Pull up if you get a minute.
Yeah.
Between your jobs.
If you get any vacation time.
If you can make it. If you got, I know you got PTO. Nigga like that guy has a PTO, bro.
Yo, his PTO is crazy.
They got 100.
He go missing for 6 months paid. His PTO crazy to the mind. That nigga PTO crazy. That nigga got benefits on top of benefits. He be like, yo, put that surgery on both of these.
Yeah, he got it on a lot. He got it on a lot.
Yo, that nigga healthcare is amazing.
Yo, nah,
you got wild people covered.
So
wild people
what's the
covered.
first? Which y'all want to go to?
So let's talk about, man, what it means to be a man. You know, there's a lot of, you know, we on social media. Some of us are not, you know, take vacations and all that from social media.
Mm-hmm.
Some of us are on all day, every day.
We take vacations.
You need that shit's healthier. You need
Hell yeah, you do need
need
that
to
shit
miss a break
sometimes,
sometimes,
man.
man.
You do need that shit sometimes.
Shit plague your mind. You be on there. You be on there trying to have a good day and shit. And you see some shit that'll fuck up your whole vibe.
Is it? So when you take vacation, are you letting people know that you're going on vacation from social media?
Nah, why?
Or are you just disappearing?
Why? Because one thing I think that defeats the purpose. If you trying to get away from all the shit that comes with social media and
Just do it.
the drama, like sometimes just like, because if you letting people know like, yo, I'm about to get offline, like it's like you're looking for attention. You want somebody to be like, no, why you leaving with that? Like, nah, you shouldn't have to be coddled for a decision that you're making for your own mental health awareness. Like, this ain't for nobody else but you.
Yeah.
Right, so just dip.
Yeah.
People will be like, yo,
Yeah.
I'm out. I'm
Yeah.
about to give social
I'll be
media
back.
a break.
I'll catch y'all in
I'll be
my
back, though.
We didn't need to
Text me
Yeah.
if you got my number.
Nigga, you don't even post like that. Niggas wasn't checking.
I tell you
We
what,
don't care. You're still here. We didn't know you were still on here.
I tell you what. Let me jump right into it. So I feel like a man is somebody who doesn't do that, and also someone who doesn't use social media as a way to inform everybody what they got going on. Man, that irks me a little bit.
I don't think that has nothing to do with being a man.
Nah, I think that's a quality.
I get what you're saying. But it's a lot of power in anonymity. Like if you can just kind of keep some shit like in the tuck, like where people don't gotta be so involved and shit like that. Because I feel like I get what you're saying. It doesn't make you less of a man, but it definitely makes you, in my eyes,
A type of man.
Yeah, there's an effeminate thing about being the person who gotta be.
Let's just say
you gotta always be on social media. You gotta always.
I don't like people. Period. We use social media like it's a diary. I don't need to. I'm not going on.
I think we've all done it.
In some form.
Yeah, to some degree. Like we've all sought attention from people that we didn't need or care or want their opinions of.
That's a great thing. One of the great things about social media is that you can do that, and you can reach people that you never connected with, and y'all can share an experience.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
I get.
It's because man, I be reading Facebook, man, dude. It get crazy. Dudes be posting pictures of fights that they had with their girlfriend, like stupid stuff, like.
But you know why? But you know why though, right?
Like
Attention.
all that negative.
That's the biggest drug.
primarily what it is.
That's why I don't like it. I
That's
don't
the
like it.
biggest drug right now.
I don't like it.
But I mean, just to simplify the shit, my definition of a man is any man who has morals and stands on them no matter what. That's my complete definition of a man. You have morals and you stand on those morals no matter what.
Yeah.
Whether it's going to be good for you, whether it's going to be bad for you, or indifferent.
I would say
You
it's just
stand on those morals at all times.
Yeah.
That's a definition of a man. It don't have nothing to do with your
responsibility
possessions.
and accountability.
Yeah, that's all in morals. It don't have nothing to do with your possessions, your house,
Bank account, none of that.
your bank account, how much money you got. It don't have nothing to do with none of that. Your degrees, none of that.
The amount of women you've been with.
None of that. The level, what is a man? What a man is. You could be the poorest person, but you can still have morals. You could be poor because of your morals. So what makes a man is a man who stands on his morals no matter what the consequence is. That to me, that's just the purest definition of what a man is. What you say?
And to piggyback off that, 'cause that's exactly what I was thinking about. Like what makes a man a man. Like, it's like you said, accountability. That's like the main thing. Like right, wrong, good, bad, and indifferent. Being able to address your own faults, to look at yourself in the mirror and be self-aware of the shit that you add, whether it be toxic or the good. Like to just know like where you are in the world, like to know where you are as far as your place in people's lives and the impact that you make, and knowing that certain adverse things that you do or don't do could be impactful to people that are around you, your family, your loved ones, your girlfriend, your wife, whatever the case may be. And on top of that, it's like, I think a man is somebody who defines himself for himself and not for the world. Like, that to me is the epitome of a man. Like, whatever it is that you believe in, whatever your moral compass is, like, you stand on that at all times. And you have to be able to define yourself for yourself, because if you don't, then people are allowed to create their own narrative of who you are for their own agenda. So if you allow that to happen, then to me it doesn't make you less of a man. It just doesn't make you a man that's self-aware.
When do you think that? Does a moment define you as a man, or can it be a set of experiences? Is it an age? Like, what do y'all think?
It's definitely not an age, because it's about, as we see on social media, see men of age, around our age, still acting like little boys, you know, and so it definitely doesn't have anything to do with the age. I know, people who have become a man at age 13, where they had to step up and take care of their household and not be in school and actually have a job, because certain people wasn't there for them, and they had to step up and actually take care of their younger siblings and raise their younger siblings. So it definitely doesn't have to do with the age. It just has to do with circumstances in your environment. It also has to do with your mentality. The mind is weird. I heard something the other day where it said that human beings know more about outer space than we know about the human brain, and we don't know shit about outer space. And I thought about that. I was like, damn, that's crazy, because like you're saying, we know more about outer space, but really we don't know shit about outer space. We go to the moon, and we do this and do that, and we don't really know shit about outer space. And they were talking about the human mind is a blank canvas when you enter this world. It's shaped through society, so we don't use all of our brain because we have been shaped to not use all of our brain. We've been shaped with these constructs that we don't even realize are forms of control. Small things like stoplights, the lines in the road. You see red, and you think in your mind it's like a mouse in a maze, and every time the mouse is running around, you shine a red light and the mouse stops. You would think that's weird with a mouse, but you don't understand that that's what human beings do all day. We see a red light and stop. Why? What in society made us recognize that light is red and made us stop? The lines. If there's cement here and grass here and cement here, and it's a sidewalk, you won't walk on the grass, you won't walk on the cement, you'll walk on the sidewalk.
You understand what that is, because it's like you said, because we are conditioned, life is just a parable of incentives versus penalties. And that's just how we train our youth. That's how we were trained. Like, this is good, this is bad, this is, what'll get you here, and this is what'll put you here, whether it be negative or positive. Like, and it's funny, because if you come from a certain background, growing into your own manhood, like, you will either be more conditioned lessons that'll groom you to, take on a whole lot of the world, the bullshit that's gonna be thrown at you, to adjust and conform to being a higher version of yourself, or what the world thinks yourself should be. Or if you're in positions where that's not always available to you, those same type of incentives, those same type of rewards, then you're gonna conform to your lower self, because you don't have anything else to compare it to. So it's easier just to be somebody that's derogatory in nature, or passive in how you should be caring about your responsibilities or people around you and shit like that, because you don't have the same training. Like, you take somebody out the hood, like you said, at a very young age, and you put them in a very privileged situation. You can groom that person to be an upstanding man. But if you take somebody out of a very empowered situation where they have money, they have wealth, they have access, and you put them in a impoverished situation, then they're most likely to become what? Somebody who doesn't have those same type of agilities, mentally, emotionally, physically, because it's whatever box you're painted in. It's whatever garden you're grown from, and that's going to turn out to be what makes you a man or doesn't make you a man. So a lot of what we know about what a man should be or what a man isn't is based on our conditions and our upbringings.
See,
It's
well,
unfortunate.
I'm glad you said that, because what this person was talking about, they was taking race out of it and just speaking about the human brain, period, right? So everything you said is correct, but how he's talking about it is on an even higher level than that. What he's saying is that, you know, even people who are in unfortunate situations and, you know, grew up in poverty, right? That's just a different area of the box that we're all in.
Right.
So, you know, somebody being of a higher status, the fact that they think that they're in a higher status, period, is a part of the control of the brain, right? So someone who lives in a bigger house and has more money, right? They feel like they're in a better place, but that's just you're just in a different area of the box. You're still in the box. The box is where we live. So we are, you know, over here in where we was raised, where, you know, it wasn't the best of everything. We wasn't rich and didn't go to the best schools, but we're still in the box. So he was talking about the brain is controlled wherever you are in the box. It's just that if you're in the box over here, your brain is just being controlled with this. If you're in the box over here, your brain is being controlled with this. But the bigger picture is everybody's still in that box of control. If you think that money gives you power, you're in the box of what you think control is. It's not a real thing. Money's not real. Like, we're basically exchanging pieces of paper to each other and acting like it's worth something. We don't stop and think for a second like, yo, I'm really handing you a piece of paper with a president's face on it. And to me, this piece of paper means value, but this piece of paper right here means nothing. It's the same thing. It's something that I have that was printed on here, and if I give you this, you can't get shit for it. But if I make it green and put a president on it, it somehow becomes whatever the number is on the piece of paper. It's a fucked up way for us to value that product as much as we do when it's nothing. It's paper. So wherever you are in that box, that piece of paper affects you. So that's what he was saying, like, racism is real. It is real, but it's a distraction. We don't look at the bigger picture of control. I put up the other day, I said that humans are the only creatures that pay to live on Earth. No other creatures pay rent, gas, or any type of money to live on Earth. Humans pay to live here. Why do we pay to live here? It's weird on the construction and the form of what we think is reality versus what's not reality, you know? And so when you're in certain areas or certain areas of life, the way that you're viewed as a man, like even like going back to how we grew up, we was taught a man is supposed to be tough. You're not supposed to be crying all the goddamn time. You're not supposed to be expressing your feelings. If anything was wrong with you, it just, grandma fix you something up in the kitchen and tell you to get better. Like, we didn't go to the hospital or didn't get mentally analyzed or anything like that. Or like, men are not, wanting to go talk to a therapist, especially we feel like that's making us less of a man if we go talk to somebody about our problems or get things off of our chest. Those are all aspects of environment, but that environment is controlled to have us all thinking that way. We look at the outside of that environment as if they have it better. But no, they're still in the box with us. They're still being fucking controlled too, just at a higher level, because we all look at money as something that's valuable, and we don't have a lot of it. Because we don't have a lot of it, we feel like they're in better positions, but no, they're in the same fuck you box as everybody else.
I think that, I think some of those things are good, right? Because we know to recognize red lights, that means stop. We drive cars, so if you didn't know what red meant and you thought green was stop, then you just caused the accident. So I think some of these things are good. I do understand what you're saying now. I do think
Yeah, I didn't say it was bad. I never said it was bad because you need structure in the environment that we are in. So I'm not saying that everybody should be running crazy.
It does get abused, and especially in the last thing you said about how men grow up and how they are taught to deal with emotions, because we're not really taught to do that, especially if you're in a sports or you have a father who is in the sports, which is probably almost everybody, at least somewhere down the line, somebody's dad probably played some type of sport or at least was competitive in nature and felt that, you know, winning was very important and that you either won or you whined about it, and we don't whine. So I don't want to hear any of that noise.
Yeah, that's the whole thing with boys don't cry. You know, girls giving baby dolls, boys are giving lectures and reprimanded, and you know,
and that's and I guess I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna ask you, girls. And what do you think? When do you feel like you became a man? What was it that first time you were like, I'm a man? And I don't mean like when you're 16 and your mom, you know, that's your mom's boyfriend or something.
Right.
And like, I'm the man in this house.
Right.
Now, you know what I'm saying? Like, when do you feel like that was for you, and what was that like?
I would say probably 28, when I felt like I was, well, I'd say probably 28, 27, 28. When it came to, when it just, I don't know, when I just realized what my moral compass was, what I was cool with, what I wasn't cool with, what type of people I wanted to be around, what type of things influenced me, what type of things was clearly bullshit, and just that development of starting to realize all of that, my moral compass, what is real, what's not real, understanding how to provide for myself, understanding how to maintain my existence without the help of others. So I say 27, 28 is when I started to realize that.
Sorry.
For me, it's like that. When did you feel like you were a man? It's like a fluid concept for me, because there were multiple times in life where I kept thinking in my own right that I was a man. When I first tied my shoes as a young kid, I felt like I was a man. First time I got a girlfriend in like junior high, I felt like a man. First girl I ever got pregnant in high school, I felt like a man, because this is what men do. Men get women pregnant, that's a man shit. First time I juggled a bunch of women and had women, you know, liking me, their affinities for me, and being able to get away with, you know, lying to this one and hurting this one, and, you know, having my friends big up what I thought was an accomplishment, to me felt like man shit. This is what men do. Men have multiple women. They have options. That felt like being a man. First time I got my first credit card, I felt like a man. I'm taking on my own responsibilities and shit. I'm taking on my own accountability for my spending and this, that, and third. First time I got a job. First time I got a car. So it's been redefined over time from different events over my life. Now, the older that I've gotten, it feels like it's not so much of a fluid thing, but it's more mental. It's like food, water, and everything else is mental, and then your mental construct or how you view yourself defines you as a man. And that's what you stand on, what you believe in, right, wrong, good versus evil, all that shit. That's my determining factor now. Like, that's my scale. Like, am I being...
So it changed. So you're saying that it changed over time.
It changed over time.
I'm glad you said it,
because I went through a whole lot of different.
I feel like the couple things you said about when you tied your shoes, when you got your first car, when you were just juggling women or whatever, I feel like those are more pride related versus what Rose was saying is more character driven, and what seems to be what you changed into eventually was more character driven
right.
qualities that defined you as a man.
Because all of the things that I felt like was defining me as a man was associated with some type of tangible thing, like some type of possession, ownership, or being praised by outside influences. So now, like, my definition of me being a man is more like what I'm able to be conflicted with and how I respond to that, whether it be adverse shit with peers, co-workers, girlfriends, whatever the case may be. It's like, now how am I reacting to what life is throwing at me on a large scale when there's so much more at stake? My livelihood is at stake. Every decision I make when I decide to get into something is going to be impacted by how that affects my life in the long run, how it affects people that I support and people that support me. So now as a man, I have to be more conscious of that. Like, I have to be more mindful of the fact that, there is a very thin line between what's gonna, put you in a position as being a man, upstanding, character, your moral compass is intact, and then you being somebody that's, for lack of better terms, a fuck boy or a manipulator or womanizer and all the other shit. So now I'm letting all of the shit that is more negative to what that existence looks like fall to the wayside, and I'm appealing to my higher self. Like, what I want from life, what I want from my relationships, what I want for my family, what I want for my legacy. Like, these are things that I think that men think about. Now, that may hit you at 24, 25, when you fresh out of college and you start paving your lifestyle or whatever, but it didn't hit me that early because I wasn't around the same type of influence. I was around a bunch of guys who I called men that at the time, when I look back on it, we were all boys because we lived like boys. We prided ourselves on our toys and our accomplishments and our conquers, like our conquests. Like, that's all the shit that we was, that's a high for us. That's boy shit. Men don't live like that. Men don't worry about the attainment. Men worry about sustaining and then maintaining and then progressing. That's what men worry about. That's more my mental now, like maintaining relationships through positive reinforcement and constructive criticism as opposed to manipulation and just being able to play on emotion shit.
And it's funny that you say that because while you were saying that, I started to go back through my mind, like thinking, like, did I ever think I was a man before I was really a man? Right. And I couldn't think of a moment where I felt like I was a man because it was growing up watching my dad, like, he worked like 3 jobs, like.
Oh, so now Pops was Mr. Harvey and shit, huh? Yeah. Let's give a shout out to Pop. Let's give a shout out to Pop. Yeah. Yes, Mr. Harvey's everywhere.
Hold on.
Shout out to the black community. Mr. Harvey's everywhere.
Hold on.
Bad Mr. Harvey.
My dad was a pastor. He was in the military and he did the moving company.
So basically, he's saying that nigga got mad people.
So basically, he ain't pay no taxes.
My nigga, you said the mentor, the bus driver.
Let's not get off track.
Assistant principal,
the janitor.
Stop.
My nigga, that's all of the jobs at the school except for teacher.
That's it.
That's the only thing left is teacher and principal.
I'm saying he probably had one title. He's probably like the utility man was his probably title. But he just did all these things because
that nigga wore mad hats.
Yeah.
That's OD, bro.
So anyway, seeing my dad work all of those jobs and take care of us, I knew my pops was a man, and I was nowhere near that as far as like, willing to put my dreams and what I want out of life behind me. My dad used to always tell me, he said, son, you're selfish. He said, but stay selfish until you don't have a reason to be selfish anymore. He said, when I start having kids, I couldn't be selfish no more. I gotta be there for y'all. So I gotta work this job. I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta do that, because it's about y'all now. I had my time. I was the one who was irresponsible or not that you was a mistake, but
I'm so glad you said that, because of all the things that I can think about over life that I want to define me as a man, having kids is not one of those. But I thank God, like, regular basis that I'm not in a position where I'm a guy who has a kid by a woman who I'm not with and I can't support in the way that I want to support, whether it's me being there on a daily basis. I've seen too many scenarios of...
Let's draw the distinction real quick because you brought up something good. Having a kid doesn't make you a man.
That's what I'm saying.
How you respond to that, whether or not you're together or not.
But I'm saying that should not define you as a man either. You should have been a man before that decision was even made, because there are certain people who either grow into being a man because of the circumstances of having a kid, and there are certain people who are already accustomed to a certain type of way of being and dealing, so that when it happens, it's not like, let me transform myself into a completely different person to accommodate this situation. don't make myself into a man because I have a child. I'm already a man. This is just a part of my life now.
My thing is like
But
what
that's
he was
not
saying.
everybody's
Is
process,
let's not condemn.
No,
the
No, I'm
journey.
saying I'm happy that it's not my story.
Right, but let's not condemn the journey. Let's just
Oh,
celebrate
never,
the fact
never,
that you got
never,
there.
never. But my thing
Yeah.
is, but like think about all the men that you know, and think about all the guys that you know who have had kids prior to getting to manhood, like truly like stepping into manhood.
Mhm.
Now I'm sure you know guys who were completely prepared for it because of their conditioning, their way of life, their bringing up, them having father figures or mentors that instilled in them that once you have this type of responsibility, you should already be this type of man before that gets here. Just be a better man for that situation. And you have some people who are not prepared for that situation at all, was living their life on a high, still doing little boy shit. Then they had a kid, and then something switched, and now it's like I gotta be more of an example for the seed that I'm about to
Your
sprout and
environment
grow.
change, you gotta
Right.
adapt.
It's like my thing is, I feel fortunate enough that I didn't have any of those situations happen early on, even with the pregnancy scares, the abortions, the miscarriages, and all that. That I didn't have a kid before I was prepared to have a kid. And I can't in good faith say now that I'm completely prepared to have a kid, but because I know what it is to be a man in this current state of my life, then it wouldn't be something that's like, well, damn, she pregnant now, I got to be a man. No, I know what it is to be a man. Now this is just another part of my responsibilities. Me trying to help somebody rear a life, bring them into the world the right way, and do right by them in that situation. Like I don't want that to be my story. Like I seen too many niggas go through it. Some of them niggas some of them have stepped up to the plate and done everything that needs to be done in that situation by being the best fathers that they could be, even if the relationship with the mother is slim to none, strained, and they don't even, there's no friendliness, they're not even amicable, but they have children, and he's been a father to his children. Then I have some niggas who have kids with women and they're resentful, and the kid has to pay for that. Like, oh nah, you fucking other niggas, you got other niggas in your life, boom, I'm out of here. I'm not gonna be a father to my child that you had by me. Or I ain't even like you like that. We was just fucking, you pregnant, that's your problem. Like that's your responsibility. I've seen this shit on both scales. I'm just so fortunate enough that I haven't had to be the person to have to figure out which man I am in that situation or that equation. Like that's the blessing.
But going back to what I was saying, the reason that I never looked at me being a man before I was actually that was looking at my dad and seeing, looking at and recognizing him as a man. You know what I'm saying? And if I'm not doing what he's doing, if I'm still leaning on them for gas money and I need food while I'm in college and I'm not providing for myself. At no point did I ever, even having my first car, my dad was paying for that. I wasn't paying for it. So even in that moment, it's just like until I knew what my moral code was, and until I knew how to maintain life for myself without anyone's help, that's when that feeling came around. Just to finish that point, but you never answered that question either.
Yeah, no, I'm just about to. But no, I'm glad you wrapped that up, because for me it's a couple things. I don't think I'm there yet, and I don't want that to sound.
You don't think you're a man?
Yeah, I don't think that I've reached a point where I can say that, comfortably I'm well rounded at being a man and having those qualities. One of the things that I think I do well is put people around me that who have qualities that I want to emulate, so that I can, because if I can make that my environment, then I know that it's around me all the time. And if I see it all the time, I'm more likely to do it. If I have people that around me that feel that I feel disappointed if they looked at me a certain type of way for my indiscretions as a person, then I would be more likely to uphold those. I know that if I have my own set of standards, like what you were talking about, Rose, you said, hang on. Yeah, you mentioned it too. Let me figure out how I want to live, what my morals are, what I accept and what I don't accept. I think that when I sit and I'm by myself and I'm thinking about all these different things, I'm checking certain boxes, but I haven't checked, enough boxes. I'm not even gonna say all of them because there's probably some out there that I haven't even discovered yet.
Right.
And again, I don't want that to sound humble. That's just because there were times where I felt like I was a man before now. But again, that's like being the smartest guy in the room. But the smartest guy in the room knows he's not the smartest guy in the room, right? That's kind of where I'm tending to push my cards all into, is that I'm not there yet. I'm trying to get there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to develop those tendencies, those behaviors, those characteristics that I know I possess because I've displayed them before. I've done them in other areas, but it's not complete yet. So when I say like I'm not a man, I don't mean it in a sexual way or a prideful way.
Yeah, it's not
I mean that I have characteristics
right.
that I want to uphold, and I know those characteristics. But let's face it, we can all preach it, but to live it is different. That's when you're standing on those morals and those principles.
That's part of manhood, being able to stand in your convictions outside of just speaking that shit. Like,
right.
And I completely, I'm so glad that you were able to share your truth about like not feeling like completely as a man, but not in the sense of it being like I'm not a male or whatever.
Yeah, and I don't want to imagine it because I'm very
bro.
I'm
I completely,
good,
I
but
1000% agree with you. When I feel like I'm not fully developed, it feels like going through an embryonic stage and then coming to full term. Because I feel like that. Like certain stages of my life have always felt like me constantly evolving into a man. Like even to this point where I feel just like you. Like I don't know 1000% that I am the man I want to be, because I know what that looks like, what the imagery of that feels like in my mind, and I don't think that I haven't checked off all the boxes. Like whether it be financially, whether it be mentally, whether it be emotionally, I haven't conquered everything that I need to conquer to fully feel like I'm in my truest, rarest form as a man. I used to say some shit like all the time, like even in arguments and all that, like with females, males, whatever. Like I'd be like, yo, I'm a man first, like respect me. And I was speaking strictly to my gender, but not not the respect or, the demeanor that I should be displaying as a man. It's just me speaking. Yeah, you were talking about having a dick. I'm a man first. Respect me. Like, and then the more you think about that, it's like, yo, you were saying some shit that you like completely hypocritical about, because you're a man, but are you conducting yourself as a man? Are you displaying yourself as a man? Are you handling adversity as a man? Are you handling conflicts as a man? Are you stepping up to the plate as a man? Are you doing things that men should be doing, or are you just speaking strictly to the fact that you can grow chest hair and you got a dick and you ejaculate and you can secrete semen? Like it's all that other bullshit. Like I'm thinking about it, it's more like you said, pride.
And I think I think that we all can agree that there are certain qualities and characteristics. Because let's not talk about like tangible stuff. Because I think we tend to agree that it's more like a mental thing.
Yeah.
So for you to be able to experience that and have those characteristics make you a man, but you could have characteristics that I don't have that define you as being a man that I may not consider for me, because your environment is different than mine. So I want to say that we all have this basis that we can kind of pull from inspiration wise, but then yours may be a little bit different than mine, but that doesn't make you less of a man. That just makes you your man. Now I can disagree with some of the things that you may define as being a man, because it may not be a characteristic, maybe a habit or something like that. But I think it's a mental. I think it's truly mental, and I think it's constant until you get to a point where you have those things in line, and when those characteristics become tested, and then you're able to say, this is how I live, this is what I'm do. I'm either gonna live for this or die for this, but this is what defines me.
Right.
So based on my definition, right, I'm gonna ask you, do you feel like you have a moral code?
Oh, definitely. There now, and this is why I say that, because I do. I feel like certain things weigh on my mind more than others, and I will say that over time, I have went from having when I was really young, I feel like my moral compass was probably like really high. And that may sound bad, but I feel like it was high. But that was because I was coming from.
It makes sense.
I was single. Yeah, you can call it that. But I'm coming from a single parent home. You know, poor, no money, no like lack of a father figure, and seeing that struggle. So that I feel like that kind of made me that way. But over time, I've become, my conscience has just grown. So even those little things that I used to do, once I got out of that innocent stage and I started to go to high school and get more attention, and I started, those morals kind of start to fall by the side, and the same things that bother you, like leaving your lunch tray on the table after lunch. You know what I mean? You get to a certain age where you're like, man, I'm done lunch. I'm leaving my lunch tray.
Responsibility.
Right. And then when you start to think about whose responsibility is that, and you gotta make somebody else's job harder because you're lazy, you start to think about that. So I kind of like, that would be like a little check for me. But that's how my conscience slowly developed over time, to the point where now certain things are weighing on me more, and it's no longer like a subconscious thing. Now if I ignore my conscience, I'm actively and knowingly and willingly accepting the consequences of that, which makes the dumb stuff that you do twice as stupid, because now you know you're doing dumb stuff and you continue to do dumb stuff, and that eats at you. That eats at you too, and you know, those are the type of things that I'm dealing with now, and having to make tough decisions. And in life, I think that's another thing that makes you, when you can make a tough decision, but you do it, and you put some thought into it, and you really think about it, and you make those tough decisions.
How old are you?
I'll be 30 in October.
So, the epiphany that you're having right now is kind of
It's
like,
not an epiphany.
well, it feels like for me an epiphany, because I feel like around the same age, I started having those same.
Well, no, this is a collection. This is not.
Right.
I'm not saying the past couple of years. This is the collection of experiences. This is just
leading up to a point.
A collection of experiences, of reflected environment, experiences.
It's the same thing. Like,
You know?
when I got to about 27 to 31, when I got to 27 to 31, I was around certain guys heavy. Like, these are just like people I consider my brothers, my friends, family. Damn, their blood couldn't make us no closer. But I was still struggling with my own, like you said, consciousness about what's right, wrong, what's good, bad. Like, because when you are around a certain element, and everything in that element where it's positivity, even in the bad doings, you tend to think, you know, even in your mind, like, yo, this having all these girls ain't a good look. Drinking all this liquor ain't a good look. Doing all this wild shit, fighting all these niggas ain't a good look. Yeah. But it's like you're struggling with that because something on this side of the fence is telling you that this is what we're doing, this is what it is. It's positive reinforcement, because you fucking bitches and niggas is like, yo, my nigga, you got hoes. Or you out drinking liquor, oh, my nigga, we get lit. Or if you out here fighting, niggas like, nah, I held you down, you held me down type shit. Like, there's positive reinforcement in the negative element that's going on. But you start elevating once you see, like, damn, this ain't all it's cracked up to be. Because even in that construct of that dynamic, it's bullshit. Like, as soon as you're not being somebody, or you're not being who people think that you should be for the elemental thing that you're a part of, then they even start chastising or looking at you funny, or start kind of like ostracizing you and making you feel like you don't belong or shit like that. And now you start trying to come to terms with, like, damn, well, what am I supposed to be defining myself as a man? Like, what about this is
It sounds like Kendrick's song with the homies.
It's like that. It's like that. Your consciousness kicks in. Like, your consciousness at some point in time kicks in amid all the bullshit.
You know, that kind of reminds me of the song by Eminem, Guilty Conscious. But I'm glad you said that, because I was just about, I'm pushing the spot again, because I was about to ask, when was a time where you felt that you had to deal with your pride as a male, and you know what I mean when I say that, versus your moral compass, and you failed, and you went with the pride and said, listen, I know these are my morals, but shit, you're going to the side right now. I'm going with the pride. When was a moment where you had that, and how it made you feel?
Oh, every time a nigga don't put the condom on, he's supposed to. Nah, I'm bullshitting, but like, I'm a little. You thinking about it. Like, yes, yo.
Well, I don't think not wearing a condom makes you.
No, we're talking about morally.
But morally, not putting on the condom is not morally wrong.
Well, it's morally wrong if you know what the effects or outcomes could be of that situation.
If you agree, and then you think that you don't having kids outside of marriage, you see
right.
someone outside of marriage, you're not using
right.
a condom, you don't know whether or not she on birth control,
she don't believe in abortion, or you don't believe in abortion,
and y'all didn't get tested together.
That's fucking with your moral compass.
Yeah, so that
because you know the right, you know the right thing.
That's the typical scenario.
You know the right typical. Yeah, I'm bullshit.
Well, condoms only existed for like the last 60 years. So
you're 36, bro.
Right, but what I'm saying is, if condoms only been around for 60 years, what was morally wrong and right before those 60 years?
No, that's why I get.
Well,
not get on a tangent, but that's why people was getting married. It changes. Marriage rate was a lot higher. You got married a lot younger. All that good stuff because they made sure. That's that system of control you was just talking about.
Why is because condoms?
I'm about to go down a rabbit hole.
No, we're not. Because
no, that's what I'm saying. That's not.
because condoms exist now, we have to apply morals to them because they exist now.
No. We're not applying.
The idea of putting it on. That's what I'm saying. That's what we're talking about. The idea of putting a condom on.
Well, it's a more issue on
what's like I said,
whether or not you're giving birth.
Right. Everything. It's like I said before.
Harm yourself morally.
It's food and water, and everything else is mental. That's for your mentality.
I don't think that's bullshit.
That's bullshit.
I think that's 100% bullshit.
No, that's real shit.
It's not real shit because
you don't think about the outcomes or the consequences of your actions every time you decide to put a condom on?
Do we think about the outcomes when we put food in our mouth?
Absolutely.
That's what's killing us. No, we don't think. Your thought pattern is as racy as you not putting the condom on when you're about to eat some food.
When you go into the woods and you see little berries and you answer
my question. You answer my question.
I am answering it.
Okay.
I'm saying no, and this is how I'm explaining it. If you went into the woods and you saw some berries over there, you wouldn't go eat those berries.
You don't know what I would do.
I know you wouldn't eat those berries.
You don't know that.
If you didn't know what those berries were, you wouldn't go eat those berries.
If I didn't know what they were.
Exactly.
But it's a small chance that I don't know what they are.
All right. Okay. So you wouldn't, if you didn't know what that berry was, you wouldn't go eat it.
True.
Okay. So you're gonna stop yourself from doing that in the first place. So your moral compass says, I don't want to kill myself. I don't want to harm myself. So I'm not going to put myself in a position to be harmed. So if you know that some berries are poisonous and you don't know what that berry is, you're not going to go, oh, here's a berry, let me eat like 30 of them. You wouldn't do that because you would be going against your moral compass.
I get where you're going.
You feel me?
I get where you're going.
But I think we're nitpicking because if you want to be that extreme,
that's not extreme though. That's everyday.
Well, we are talking about survival. You don't need sex to survive. That's more of a.
Stop. You get around my question. Answer my question. When did you throw pride to the side? I mean, when did you throw your morals to the side because you was like, no, I'm a man and the pride is taking over right now. And he already said women, so you can't.
It sounds like it's a gratification. Like
I don't.
What's one of the things that you define you as a man?
Ask the question one more time.
What's one of the characteristics that you say or morals that you possess that make you that you have or checked off on your qualities or morals that make you a man? What's one of those boxes that you check?
Honesty.
Honesty. So when was a time where you were dishonest, knowing you were being dishonest for the sake of being prideful, instead of being honest and fulfilling that obligation morally?
Good play. I like that. That was good.
Right?
I like
that. When did you tell that lie? Because you were still trying to do something. You know what I mean? You were trying to scratch that itch. When did you tell that lie instead of telling the truth? And how did it make you feel?
There has to be some instance.
I'm trying to think.
I said I was gonna put him on spot.
No. I'm not running from the question at all.
No,
I'm just trying to think.
I'm
just trying to think of when I told a lie because of pride.
Right. Pride is like not. I tell a lie.
You believe in honesty, right?
Yeah.
So when have you ever deviated from honesty, knowing that that's a part of what you deem as
when did I not keep it real with someone?
Yeah.
When did I not keep it real with them?
For instance.
Yeah.
Just that flat, or because of pride? Because that's the part that was because lying
well,
to protect my pride.
Okay. Let's talk about context. When have you lied
because
about? When have you lied about something, knowing that you are big on lying, and that being a thing that determines or defines you as a man? You being honest. When have you ever lied, knowing that you lied outright, and that's you completely deviated from the thing that you feel like?
When the outcome was gonna hurt somebody way more than they needed to be hurt.
So okay, so what happened?
I seen some shit I wasn't supposed to see.
Oh, snap.
And
How's that work?
Huh?
How's that work?
First of all, let me insert this emoji with the eyes real quick because I'm trying to see what you saw.
I seen some shit I wasn't supposed to see, and because I saw it, it put me in a weird spot with somebody I was super cool with, but I wasn't supposed to see.
So you kept your mouth shut.
I did, and it fucked with me for a long time because I don't know. It's like I wasn't supposed to see, and I was so mad that I saw it. That's what really pissed me off. It's like, yo, 2 more seconds, I would have been in my car and gone. I wouldn't have seen nothing,
right.
You know. But
I don't think we all looked at that.
I saw it, and then the damage that would happen if I say what I saw was way bigger than my moral code of like, nah, I saw it, I'm telling it, and then watch everything crumble.
What was the thing?
I don't want to get too specific,
No,
because that could still crumble today if I said what I saw.
I'm gonna build on that then, because I think that's a good point. And Tyree, answer this. Is it okay sometimes, even though you have that moral, the morals that you stand on? In Rose's situation, he had to kind of say, well, you know, my morals say I should probably do this, but also morally, I probably shouldn't say nothing because this, you know, I'm trying to balance the scales. Is there a time where you're trying to figure out if it's okay to, in his situation, say something or not say something? Like, are you picking sides? How do you deal with that type of information?
So Rose is a better man than me because I've never been the type that has the capacity to not speak on.
Yeah, you going in.
I got to. It was crazy. It's not even about wanting to smoke. It's just more or less, and this is where my definition of manhood or being a man kind of gets blurry. Because my thing is, if I see something that I know is gonna affect me in a way where I've invested trust and this deviates from that, or if I invested love and this doesn't look like love, or this, you know, this looks like me being able to be confident, being confident in you, and then that kind of like boys confidence. Now I gotta say something, because the things that I feel like whatever we're doing, friendship, relationship, family, is built upon, could come crumbling down because of your actions within this scenario. And so it wouldn't be within me as a man. I can't swallow that. I can't eat that. Like, I can't see some shit.
I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, fuck it. So,
I go in though, bro.
So
yeah, every time.
Me and one of my coaches was super cool, and he had a wife, and she was around a lot, and I saw one of my teammates fucking her. I caught him like fucking the coach's wife. So with me and the coach being cool, do I go tell the coach?
How cool are y'all? Like, is it a coach?
Nah,
like
cool.
friendship, like real friends.
Cool.
Okay.
Cool.
How do you see it?
That's back to the point we was talking about earlier when we was talking about my homeboys and the things that I would like divulge as information. Like, the things that I wouldn't tell those two parties is only because it doesn't adversely affect either one of those people because of what they have going on outside of that one scenario.
Right.
But when it comes to something that I know could be harmful to them, whether it be mental, emotional, or physical, then yeah, I'm telling. Like, not even because it's like, oh, I'm being chatty patty or.
Yeah, you're not telling people outside the situation.
No, I'm telling my niggas straight.
Yeah.
Like, say, all right,
So people involved.
so let's talk about. So say that same situation I talked about earlier, right? Say that same young lady was dealing with both these guys, and she was pregnant, and she was telling this nigga, "You're the father of my child," and she was telling this homie, "You're the father of my child." Then morally, I feel a due diligence to my niggas. I gotta tell y'all what's up. Like, bro, like, yo, this bitch fucking both of y'all. This could be your child. This could be your child, my nigga. Like, y'all need to check that shit. Like, that's where the fine line is kind of drawn. Like,
but that to me is not as catastrophic as what would have happened if I would have told my coach.
Right.
Who's the same?
Huh?
Because we don't know how people are gonna react to it.
No, what I'm saying is, what I'm saying is to you is that you're talking about 2 relationships, 1 girl and a child. I'm talking about an entire basketball program. I'm talking about other people's scholarships. I'm talking about people's livelihood. I'm talking about
I get it.
The story breaking with the school.
And they didn't even know that they were. I'm sure the husband didn't think the wife was cheating, and the wife didn't think the husband was cheating. So if they found out that they was cheating, and it also happened to be this trifecta.
I get what y'all saying, but there's
So
there's no scale for wrong being wrong.
No, but it's a difference.
But
And you want to tell them.
there is a scale of the after effect.
Right, and that's what
If
I'm
you
saying.
use a grenade or use a C4,
Okay.
the after effect is gonna be different.
It's still gonna be a blow up because we're talking about we're talking about
funny. That's
real
true.
shit. We're talking about 2 people's lives because we don't know mentally how these men are gonna take that information. Like I know my friends.
That's what I'm saying.
but I don't know my friends.
I'm not worried about my coach's feelings. I'm worried about the basketball program that I'm a part of. I'm worried about losing my coach. I'm worried about my career changing.
You're arguing my point because now I'm worried about. I don't know. Maybe I've never seen these men in this type of precarious situation. I don't know how this man is gonna take this information. Like, yo, I don't know, cause a nigga tell you so much information. Like, you ever been around your homeboys? Be like, man, I like that shorty, but she ain't like that. Like, I don't fuck with her like that. And then you see shorty out with like another nigga entertainer, and then you see a man get in his bag. Like, my nigga, I thought you ain't fuck with her like that. I thought you just was kicking it. Like, it's a whole different scenario. So you never know, like, really how a nigga is thinking about a situation. So my niggas can be telling me, yo, I'm fucking this bitch. And my nigga, him on this side, like, I'm
But
just
at
fucking
the
that
end
bitch.
of the day, that's not fucking up an entire basketball
It's
program.
still fucking up somebody's life based on their mental stability and their ability to handle that information.
Right. But what I'm saying is that's not the same to me because this is fucking up people's life and the basketball program and people's life who have nothing to do with it. As far as the players on the team, the players who were recruited by this coach, this coach and this player can't be on the same team no more. Somebody got to go.
That's D'Angelo Russell all over again.
That's
Only
deep,
worse.
but I mean,
And then it's in the news, and then I'm telling you, it's a bigger blow up. What you're talking about is just relationships. People deal with that every day. I'm talking about a whole basketball program.
and you don't think that blows
crumbling.
up of what? Because I get what you're saying. It's not on
Even if it blows up,
it's not on as large a scale. I get what you're saying.
even if it blows up, one of them got a baby now, and the other one don't, and now that man has to deal with it.
But we don't know how these people are going to react to the information that they find out.
But
Niggas who are stable could be
when you
stable
say-
until
when
you
you
give them
say-
a reason not to
When
be.
you say react, what you mean? Kill him, stab her?
Who knows? We don't. Dog, I've seen mad shit happen over time in relationships. I've seen niggas get killed by the girls that they love. I've seen a nigga kill a girl that he loved, shot her mom. I've seen a woman who had a baby by a nigga who she loved and had a kid with be killed by the side nigga. Like, it's mad different things that can come from those type of places.
At the end of the day, the only people affected by that were the people who were involved.
And their families.
In this situation, it's affecting people who had nothing to do with it. If that girl gets killed, God forbid, she was involved in that. This is going to fuck up people's lives who don't have nothing to do with it.
Her family had nothing to do with it.
Huh?
Her family had nothing to do with it. His family had nothing to do with his decision making. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't believe in weighting one bad versus the other. Like, but I completely agree with your point that it was, you know,
we do that, though.
it's more fucked up. We do to a degree. But my thing is wrong. So I guess I argued the point to say, when it's these 2 niggas fucking this shorty and she's telling both of them one thing, and I know that both of these niggas are my homies or whatever, and I could never interject myself because I know what they have going on. That's me playing Good Samaritan and staying out of the way of grown folks' business. But now we introduce a different dynamic like a child. It's like now my moral compass is, yo, I know that this could change your life because of what you have going on at home. You have a whole life. This can change your life because you just starting to get your feet wet with your career and your money and all that other shit. Like, these things change everything when you introduce that one small fragmented thing into the equation because it's not so small. Like, it's a child. It's like it's 18 years of your life and beyond that, and them making their own lineage and you having to be there to some degree to support that situation. Like, what nigga is it though? Mm-hmm. And these are both my friends, so I'm obligated to say, yo, I have to bring these parties together and be like, and it's more fucked up for me because it's like now I gotta admit to knowing what was going on because I'm getting information from you, and I'm staying out the way because it's like I know how you giving it up. I know how you giving it up. And the female, I'm even cool with her, like, to a degree. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? But I still owe my loyalties to these niggas.
I'm gonna say, so when it,
I don't give a fuck.
when it, yeah. So I'm
being wild
when-
specific.
Yeah, y'all both being wild specific. I'm gonna say this though.
That's what we here for, man.
Yo, it's so many niggas right now that know what I'm talking about. Like,
I don't, see, you know what's crazy? Cause I fuck with a whole lot of niggas, but I don't fuck with nobody. Like, so it's like anybody can draw their own conclusion.
I'm
Only
talking
the real
about
one,
when
really.
I'm talking about
Oh, your
me,
situation,
my
yeah.
situation. It's
You gonna
mad
get a
people.
call?
It's
Yeah,
mad
call,
people. You know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
who the fuck would it?
Yeah, his DM gonna be crazy.
Now they know though. They know now.
How long ago was this? You know my mind.
I'm not gonna say that.
Okay,
Yeah, it could have been in
respect.
high school, could have been college, could have been seminary,
We don't know.
could have been D League, could have been
We don't know.
YMCA
Could have been church league.
Yeah,
We don't
could be
know.
on it. But I'm gonna say this
What's going on?
because when I have those moments,
Shit be happening.
I don't. One of the things that really kind of bother me is my how I should feel about me making those decisions. So if I have to be put in a situation where, you know, where I feel like I need to tell everybody involved in the situation what's going on, or
Hey,
like,
Rose be snitching too. I ain't trying to cut you
like,
off.
nah, like I see over there snake.
Nah. But I'm just saying, Rose be snitching. Rose, bro, you snitched on me.
No, you did. Bro.
Like, yo, I could have been.
Nah, I was trying to.
Hypothetically.
Y'all over here.
Nah, you was like,
Hypothetically.
nah, you wasn't keeping it hype.
Yo,
You were
Keep that energy.
hypothetical.
Long story
that
that's
energy
wrong.
gotta be the same.
So the Raptors, right?
So Kawhi, right?
Yeah.
So
Nah. So, but yo,
Yo, cut all this shit. I'm about to cut the tape off.
So one of the things that bother me, we were just talking about, is that when I do have to make a decision between my pride and my morals, is how long I spend reflecting on that, or how long I beat myself up for that, or whether I should at all, whether or not I need to be like your pop said, I need to be more selfish, because at where I am right now, do I need to be that way or do I need to be this way? And trying to figure that out is kind of another thing that I think comes along with, you know, me fulfilling that role as being a man. I don't think being married makes you a man. I think that may be a step. I made that think because marriage doesn't really mean anything. It's the principles behind marriage that you live up to that make it the marriage worthwhile and
I'm glad you said that.
and what would make you the man. So just because you're married doesn't mean you have those qualities that make you a man, because you might be not acting like a man.
Well, not even just marriage. Like, dog, having a good job don't make you a man. Being able to have kids don't make
Right.
you a man.
Going to your job every day and doing your job to the best of your ability and being responsible for that and putting yourself in a position to like the job that you do, maybe some of those qualities too. But
What do you stand for? Ultimately, that's what it is. What defines you outside of what you believe everybody else outside looking in is going to define you as? What do you believe in, bro?
you know what's funny? One of the things that struck me the most, a quote is from my grandma. She passed away, and R.I.P. grandma. And she was a writer, and she wrote some books, never published. But in one of the stack of papers, she had like a note in there, and it was from a job interview that she had went on, and it was her resume. And I read through her resume, and at the end of her resume, she had qualities, and she just had a quote, and it just said, "I never put off tomorrow what I can do today." And I thought that was, I thought it was a great attempt at trying to get a job, but I thought that's a quality that I want to have. And procrastination, I think, is something that we all deal with, putting stuff off till later, and so that's kind of one of the things
Every day.
that, you know, that's just something I think it's just a combination of all these different things. I'm still trying to figure out. I have some of those things mapped out, but sometimes I think I think I beat myself up too much and for too long when I don't fulfill the obligations and responsibilities, and then hold myself accountable for failing at those things for too long.
Just to give you my opinion on what you're saying, I don't think you need to not feel like a man because of those feelings. What defines you as a man is the fact that you know that you're doing these things.
Ooh, message. Ooh, I like that.
So,
no, because
I
like that.
If you can call yourself on the realest conversations I have are with myself.
Damn, yeah.
So if you can call your shit, like you know, oh damn, I fucked up right there. I shouldn't have did that shit. That's a man, because you know what's right, you know what's wrong, and you're standing on something. If you do that and you don't point out that you fucked up, then you pointing out that you fucked up is you standing on your morals. You understanding that's against my morals. I fucked up right there.
I add something on top of that though, because I add, if you notice it and you point it out, you get congrats, right? But I'm not big on congratulating you for doing what you're supposed to do. Mm-hmm. So in my opinion, I'm gonna add on top of that, if you don't do it again, then that is what would solidify you. And to me, that's the hard part, because you realize you have those mistakes.
I look at that differently.
Those flaws.
I look at it differently too, because who says you're going to have one mistake? Who says you can only have two?
Me.
But that's what I'm saying. But something constructed that thought process that you can only fuck up twice, and now
once, 3 times, 10 times, whatever it be.
But the defining moment is you doing it, making a mistake, and if the attempt again to do it right, you may make a mistake again.
I think
but the attempt.
Well, that's very much so how I view like defining myself as a man, like having multiple mistakes that happen over time, and me seeing like that course of action that's led me to a certain point, knowing that I'm the epitome of what got me there through this repeated cycle, and then me not realizing it until it was too little, too late, too far removed from that situation to actually to change a lot of the things that could have been avoided. It's like one time, cool, you mess up. Twice, you mess up. 3, 4 times, you mess up, and it's like it's not hitting hard enough. You need sometimes multiple failures to get to a point where you realize, like, damn, something has to change. Like, whether it's me, whether it's my approach, whether it's the company I keep, like, something has to change, and that's okay, because that is the epitome of coming into your manhood, knowing that you understand that there is a problem. The number of times that the problem occurs doesn't indicate whether you are a man or not. It's your ability to realize it and then to make some actual action that's going to result in something that's going to be a different outcome. Like that to me signifies being a man. Like, you have to be able to know, like, people who have drug use, like think about people who have like multiple drug use, who go years trying to get off a needle, or trying to get off coke, or trying to get off adverse things that are affecting their lives, and you have to hit rock bottom before you can actually start building your way up to a point of prevalence again. Like it's the same shit with manhood. Like you gotta hit rock bottom before you can figure out, like, all right, cool, and this is not who I want to be.
That's my thing though, because this is something else that, and to touch on what you said, talking to yourself, one, I think is extremely hard, and I think that it takes practice at doing it, because I think that we convey our best ideas and thoughts when we do things like this right here, when we just talk freely, and like we have something that we want to discuss, but this is not rewritten. You didn't write any of your questions, you didn't write any of yours, I didn't write any of mine. This is all organic, and this is when those ideas and those new ideas develop. And I think that not repeating what someone else said, I think sometimes that can lead you to think. But I think that when we do stuff like this, and it allows you to think, and those ideas are yours, and organic.
Oh,
you may
definitely.
Like, those are excellent. So I do think that too. But my thing is, I don't want to get to the point where I have to hit rock bottom. I think that if I hit rock bottom, that's a failure in me not realizing and not stepping up to the plate when I should step up to the plate.
That's your own belief, and all men don't have those same beliefs. Like, sometimes, like, I can excel at multiple things, but then fail at one thing, and then I have to have an ultimate failure to realize that there has to be some different course of action for me to get to a betterment of self.
Right, but in some people's eyes though, that that becoming man is everything. It's every bit of who you are. So if you fail at that, you're like failing at life. And that's why I was saying a while ago, like, how long do you deal with like stressing yourself about when you make that second and third mistake, knowing that you shouldn't have made it, knowing that third mistake that you made is actually your rock bottom, and now you looking up at everything.
As long as it takes. As long as it takes. You know what I realized over time? Like, your greatest inner enemy is your inner me. Like, even when I've had like some of the biggest conflicts of my entire life as a result of other people, it was never the other people. It was my inability to change my mindset around the things that were going on that I could control. And because I decided to appeal to my lower self, I wasn't able to be the best person in that situation I could be. Like, it's one of those factors where it's like, you can't change what you don't know is affecting you. And it could take you talking to yourself over and over again and you trying to appeal to a higher sense of being before you get to that point. Like, and that may take repeated failures. Like, sometimes it's like you're going through it and getting it wrong one time. It's not going to be enough for you to know that it's a wrong thing, because it's not a course of action that you practice on a regular basis. It just happens, and then sometimes it can continue to happen, and it becomes habitual, and then you figure out, like, over a course of a period of time, that this is like stifling your growth. It's keeping you from being the best person that you could be for whomever you're trying to be, whatever situation you're trying to be, whether it be a job, whatever the case may be. Like, and that's something that you have to figure out as you go along. Like, I don't think 1 or 2 failures based on something that you truly believe will define you or not define you as a man, or your lack thereof. It's like how you're responding to it after the fact. Because sometimes you have to remove yourself from a situation to figure that shit out.
I feel like it's subjective. It differentiates between person to person. Some people don't have to hit rock bottom to understand that there's a change. Some people can get it on that first mistake and realize, you know, what happened, go back at it again and get it right on the second time. It just depends on the person and what it takes for them to see the difference. I don't think that's different in a lot of people. I don't think you have to get to, everybody has to reach rock bottom, and I don't think everybody gets it on the first try either, or the second try or the third. But yeah, I don't think you have to hit rock bottom in order to change.
The boy's bad.
Yeah.
The boy's bad.
Yeah.
Because you basically just like validated both our points. I appreciate that. Yeah, I get it.
I just want to make sure that along the way we're taking notice of the things that, well, one, we have our, I guess this is everything, but one, we got our list of things that we have created over the course of our experiences, of things that we feel would make us a man. And then I feel like at a certain point in time, you kind of like take that list and you ball it up, you throw it away, and then you start with an actual real list, because you actually are thinking about things now.
Or just write the first list in pencil.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it changes. It's like I said,
exactly.
it's a fluid concept, man.
And you're going to want to add stuff in there. But I think that reflection is huge. We're not spending too much time. Like, the important thing is to understand your mistakes and learn from them and try not to make them again. But if you happen to make them again, you're human. It's all good. You don't have to start over from scratch. Just because you messed up the window on the house, you don't throw the whole house away. So I think that's another important thing.
This is a random question.
Go ahead.
You know how to change a tire?
Yeah.
You know how to change a tire?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that defines a man, if you know how to change a tire?
I think at a certain point in time, it probably did.
Do you think, yes or no question, do you think it defines a man if he knows how to change a tire?
No. Today, no.
Just period.
No, I'm still.
Does a man need to know how to change a tire?
In the 60s, yes. That was a quality that made you a man. Today, I don't think that's a necessary quality to make you a man.
What you think?
Probably even not even there, but yeah.
Does changing a tire define you as being a man?
Is that something a man should know how to do?
No. I think if you're a man who knows how to solve problems, that makes you a man. So if you know how to call a motherfucking AAA or some roadside assistance, you're a man because you're smart.
You were smart enough to get that insurance, my brother.
Yeah.
So,
hey.
So it was a video the other day.
Responsibilities.
It was a video.
Accountability. I can't do this shit. I'm not going to force it, so I'll call a professional.
So it was a video the other day on Facebook where this guy is recording this girl, and they have a flat tire. And she's she's trying to change it. She don't know how to do it. He don't know how to do it either. Or at least he's playing like he don't know how to do it. And so she done pulled out all the stuff. She trying to do it on her own. And he's like talking shit to her like, yo, just wait on AAA. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, and then she pulling out stuff and trying to hook it up and trying to jack it up. So he's like, yo, I don't think it go like that, man. I do know it probably don't go like that. So then she got it jacked up. She got the car jacked up. She's trying to get in. She opened the door to get in the car. He's like, hey, I don't think you're supposed to get in the car while it's jacked up. Yeah. It might fall down. And so he's like antagonizing her the whole time because she's really trying to change his tires. And so then she went off. She was like, you should be a man. You ain't no man. He was like, look, I don't know how to change a tire. Just call first AAA, let them change the tire. And I don't. And I said,
he was right on time.
And I said in that moment, think about it. If they don't have like a place where we can go practice on how to change the tire. If you never change the tire, you don't know how to change the tire until you change the tire. So if you went your whole life and you never had a flat tire, you never had to stop on the side of the road and change the tire, did you go to the gym to practice on the spare tires that they have there? Oh, this is how you do it and work on it now. Yeah. So the whole time he was playing a joke on her, like he wanted to see how far she was gonna go do it on her own. And then he was like, babe, I know how to change the tire. And then she started chasing him around the parking lot. It was funny as hell. But I was just gonna ask you on that because you know how she immediately went to, you ain't a man, you ain't, you know what I'm saying? You know, just girls talking that talk about how he ain't a man because he didn't know how to change the tire.
I think she was just trying to emasculate him because
I don't want to open this can of worms, but like women will like try to define what a man is for a man without a man say so involved at all. Like whether you can provide a support or whether you have a certain type of job, a certain type of lifestyle, like all of these things, depending on the type of woman or company you keep, will define you as a man in the eyes of women. Like, I don't want to talk about. I'm glad that I'm so glad that we stayed away from that topic. Like, because I don't want to speak.
But everybody, like again, we have our perspective of what it means to be a man,
right?
And that changes from man to man,
right?
We all agree that we have certain qualities.
So I'm glad that we kept. I'm glad that we kept it in this man.
But I do kind of got a question about that though.
I can't answer that.
And it's not like specifically that, but I was thinking about, you know, I was watching a movie the other day, and the woman asked the man, what do you do? What do you do for a living? And I thought about it. Why do people ask people that question?
To figure out what box they need to put you in as far as priority or your importance.
Don't ask me what I do for a living.
Keep it 1,000. I think some people just do it because that's just the next question that I gotta ask.
No.
Okay.
No.
So hear me out.
Asking somebody what they do is to deem the level of importance you should put on that person based on their occupation.
Hear me out. You at the bar. You at Red's. It's on a Saturday night. You just pulled up. 12. Ain't nobody deep yet. You see Shorty over there by the bar. She bad. You walk over to her. Y'all start talking. Y'all having a great conversation. Hour later into the conversation, y'all start talking about, you know, hey, so what do you do? If she said, I'm a, you know, accountant for, you know, some Fortune 500 company, or she said she was a secretary for a small business, like, you know, some storefront, you know, boutique shop, you gonna look at her differently because of what she does?
My nigga, let me tell you this. I talk to mad different females from mad different backgrounds. I don't care if you strip or sell chicken strips, but who are you as a person? Like, what is your moral?
That's all I want.
Like, what is it? Because that's men. More often than not, men care less about the occupation of a woman than a woman will care about the occupation of a man.
Right, but
that's just the way that the world is. But conditioned to believe that these
that's
things
also
should be weighted.
biology though, because men we're designed differently because to protect. Like that's why we have more muscle mass. That's why we're bigger, stronger, faster.
Let me tell you what my female cousin told me when I felt like I lost a female who was making all kinds of money and shit like that, and I felt like, damn, I'm losing a good woman who has her own financial footing. She can support her own means and all other shit. I'm missing out on a good thing. I'm thinking I'm losing the world. You know what my cousin said? My cousin's wife said, people lose jobs every day. Ain't none of this shit guaranteed. What about the love that's substantial? What about the way that she supports you, the way you support her is substantial? The money ain't always gonna be there. It's there now. And it looks good now. It looks like it's gonna be there now and forever, to this day. But it's like being a fighter in a fight and feeling like you can beat anybody until you get punched in the face. You're on top of the world when you got it until you ain't got it. And now what do you have to stand on beyond that? I mean, you got your savings and that shit can be depleted. You could have your investments and that shit can go belly up. Like,
what I'm saying is, and I wasn't talking about a man asking a woman what you do, because men are physically driven. No matter what she does,
right?
They're going to
the
be,
occupation ain't gonna matter.
Occupation don't matter. Women are more interrogators.
I agree. I will.
So
say
I was
that
speaking. I was speaking.
Why do you think a woman? Why do you think a woman
I was
asks a
speaking
man
on-
what he does as far as occupation?
Honestly, I think I'm gonna agree with y'all on that, because I do think that women probably carry a little bit more weight, but that's because they're probably looking for somebody that's probably more stable to be in a relationship with. But I'm also say that, man,
Women will ask you what you do before they ask you what you want from them.
I think it's just the next point of comment. Hey, how you doing?
No,
my name's Shamik.
I have to assess your ability to be a provider in this
Okay.
situation.
Say it is that.
And
Why
that's
is it that though?
Right, and this is why I
It
said
became that for a reason.
right. No, of course. But what I'm saying is that at a certain point, we can use it like we use other words. These words mean something completely different now than when they were originated. So me asking this line of question at one point in time could have been designed to figure out your social status, what you do to what type of dowry you got in order for me to want to court you or be with you. But what I'm saying now is that over time that went from that, and now that's just the next line in question. Like, hey, what's your name? Oh, where you from? Oh, what do you do? And then after you get through the preliminary questions, those are when the real questions start. And I'm saying that even if you answer to a lower status on that job application question,
Dog, if you tell a woman you're the manager of a McDonald's, the conversation is over. The conversation is, bro.
True.
If you talk to a certain stature of woman and she asks you what your occupation,
a third grade teacher,
and you tell a third grade teacher you work at McDonald's?
No, I'm saying if you're a third grade teacher versus a worker at McDonald's, your salary is probably comparable. So what are we talking about?
Looking like a third grade teacher is more prestigious than looking like a nigga who flips burgers and writes up.
I get that too, but I'm saying financially, what's the difference?
Right.
I'm just saying
financially, it's not a difference.
We talking about status.
It's like I said,
women
and men both alike will ask that question, trying to figure out what type of value they should put on you as a person based on what it is that you have deemed yourself to find as an occupation. What are you doing with yourself? What are you doing with your life? And then they're looking at the long term. Think about the roof on
I do that too.
being a manager at a McDonald's. You could be a manager at a McDonald's, and the best thing you do is be a district manager. You could be a teacher at a school, and the best possible job is to be a superintendent, which has more weight. It looks more prestigious in the eyes of a woman asking that question.
Shout out Mr. Hart. He's about to say Rose.
He's stupid.
I can't remember the last time I asked a woman, what do you do?
Niggas don't give a fuck. We don't care about you.
Y'all don't be asking.
No, I don't care if you strip or sell chicken. I don't give a fuck what your
It's not
job
even
is.
about whether or not. I'm just saying, like, whether or not you care.
I find myself discovery again. Back to discovery. I find myself finding that out over time. Like on the onset, I ain't thinking about what you do. You're maintaining and sustaining your own way of living. I'm maintaining and sustaining my own way of living. As long as the discovery is you're not looking for me to be somebody that's going to come in and support your lifestyle, because that's just what you're trying to find. You're not looking for a confidant, you're not looking for a friend, you're not looking for a lover or support. You're looking for a sponsor. Like, as long as I find that you're not looking for a sponsor, I don't give a fuck what your occupation is. You could be an entrepreneur with your own business, your own brand, trying to make your own money and all that other shit. And as long as you're not looking at me like somebody who should come in and support your lifestyle while you build and work on your dreams, then cool. We have plenty of shit to talk about. But if you're somebody who got your own boutique and all that other shit, but then everything that you post or everything you talk about is men should be doing this, men should be doing that, it's like, okay, this is a front now. Whatever it is that you're politicking and parading to people that you're doing, that you want to be a woman of a certain stature, of a certain esteem, because you have your own business, your own money, it's a front. Damn. You just want niggas to believe that you're doing it on your own, so until you find the nigga who will come in and do it for you, so you don't have to do it yourself. Like, all this shit is transparent, man. You can read through a lot of this shit if you just take the time and not think about like the surface level bullshit that people give you in a conversation.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I agree with you. I'm just saying that you have that surface level conversation.
Do you care about a woman's occupation?
Yes and no.
I don't give a shit.
But no, explain. Okay, because I want to get that.
All right. Yes, I am. Because if I'm asking the question, then I'm asking for a reason.
But you just said that people just ask that in the flow of conversation.
Right, I'm saying because that's what I'm saying. Because over time, that's what it's become. But what I'm saying is, when I meet somebody, I'm asking them, their name, how they know somebody in here. Depending on the situation, the context of the question change. But at the same time, I'm always gonna ask. So when I was in college, you were at that party? Oh, or let's take it back to high school. Oh, so you taking that class? Oh, I'm taking that class. Get to college. Oh, you taking this class? You got this class? Who this teacher is this? These are all questions that we continuously ask. So because we're trying to get to know somebody. Right now.
That ain't how I did it in college. Yo, what's up with that booty?
Yeah. That's a little bit
Nah,
different. That's a little bit different. Yo, he was walking
Yo, what's
around
up?
saying,
Yo,
I got a couple racks on me.
We out or not?
He said, I got some racks on me. I'm throwing a party. I'm on the couch. What's up?
I was shy brother in college, man. I
He
played
grabbed the
guitar.
mic and was like, yo, light skin.
I was
the
like-
Halle Berry.
My selling point was like not being the nigga in the mix, and then I end up being the nigga in the mix. Ain't that funny? Like my whole college campaign, I went from being the nigga not in the mix to graduating and being the nigga in all the mixes.
That just means you either evolved to get into the mix or you always wanted to be in the
You know what's crazy? I always had women's attention one way or the other. Like I think a lot of women found like I was appealing because I was a nigga not trying to be like every other nigga. And then
Was
I
you popping in high school?
No, it wasn't.
Was you popping in college at the end? Like, divide your college years up there.
Let's be real, man. When I got to college, I felt like even in high school, I was the man in my own right, but I wasn't the man because I didn't have the means to be that person. Like I didn't have J's, I didn't have all the designer jeans and shit like that. So girls liked me, but girls didn't want to attach themselves to me because I don't look like the popping guy in school. I'm just the guy who plays ball. I'm the nerdy nigga. Like I'm smart, but I'm athletic. But ain't nobody trying to be attached to that in high school, nigga. This is about notoriety. Like, what J's you got? Did you got a car? You got a Honda, nigga? You ain't got no Honda with the tweeters in it? So you just a cute, you just Tyree. You know what? You know what?
No 12s in your
I ain't have none. I ain't none of that shit. But when I got to college, it's like it's a point.
I ain't had that shit either. I was still lit though.
I wasn't lit. I was poor, man. Like being poor, being the guy that's known as poor in high school, and being the guy that's like, not even well off. You're okay. Like, you know what I'm saying? Your life don't look so bad.
Well, I was like,
I'm talking about iron on jelly on my jeans, nigga. I look crazy. My jeans look like leather, nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying?
nah, but I
look crazy.
I wasn't
cuz.
the flyest nigga either. I mean, I knew how to piece what my parents gave me together to make it look alright. But I was more of the funny asshole. So like, I never forget we had this teacher called Miss Floyd. She's a substitute teacher, but she had just graduated college. She was mad young. She was like only like 6 years older than us. So like, wherever she substituted in the school, we knew we could go to Miss Floyd's classroom and just kick it. So we would just go to her classroom and kick it.
Miss Floyd was a cool mom.
Well, she
You
was
might
giving up that
Don't.
booty too.
Yeah, I was about to say she fucking. I don't know
Yeah.
why.
So we didn't really respect her like that because we knew she was messing with this couple
Like,
students.
shit, you can't give me if you fucking. Like,
Damn, I said her name. So, but anyway,
Miss Floyd,
I don't know what she's still doing. I'm
that's
saying, I don't know.
Y'all boys
Rose-
been telling tonight.
Rose is the boy.
Yo, we've been
Y'all
snitching today.
y'all been telling.
It's a mad chatty patty podcast tonight,
We've been
B.
6'9" in this
Hey, yo,
motherfucker.
wrap this shit up.
Yo, so back then we knew how much substitute teachers made per day. They made $50 a day.
Jeez.
Yeah.
So
Y'all had a cheat school.
so me and her had got into it because she got loud with me.
Oh,
And
you
I was-
calling it paycheck out.
Yo, you mad ignorant, yo.
I
Since back then.
I broke it down by the hour. Then I said I ain't even took out taxes yet.
Hey, yo.
Bro, she was so mad, bro.
So about the rap.
Yo, I've never seen a woman that bad before,
Yeah, so
bro.
about-
I broke down to $50 and I broke it. I said,
So-
yo, you only get $50 a day. Everybody went crazy. And I said, that means you only getting this much an hour. And then everybody went crazy again. I said, and I ain't even took out taxes yet.
Hey,
The crowd went wild.
So where's Kawhi
Crazy.
going? So where's Kawhi going next year?
Yeah.
So
That's
where's Kawhi
Shout out to
going
Miss
next year?
Floyd, man. Wherever Miss Floyd
No, so like, to wrap this shit up, man,
Really
I wasn't the cool nigga in school, man. I was the nigga that was cool with everybody. I was cool with all the goth kids, the nerd
the
kids.
God kids.
Yeah, I was just a people person, man. Like when you don't have a lot.
Yo, we gotta see this nigga yearbooks, man. Because you
Mad acne, son. I was
you
mad
was hanging out
acne.
with the goth
You know what saved me? You know what saved me in
got
school?
the goth kids.
You know what saved me in school? I had mad confidence. I had mad confidence. Like niggas that snap on the bus, I'm snapping right back. Like niggas want to fight, I want to fight too. Like all the shit I was ill prepared for and didn't have no business being in, I was just like, fuck it.
That's the thing too.
What you gotta lose? What you gotta lose?
That's the thing too. You couldn't snap with me. Like I would tear you apart from head to toe. You could be fly as fuck. You be Tommy Hilfiger down with the J's on. I'm still gonna find something. Hold on, boy. Look at your shirt. Why your neck so tight? I don't give a fuck. That's Tommy Hilfiger. Look at your neck. Yeah. So you got the medium because it was $12 less. I'm gonna tear you down all the way down to your shoe. You can be fly as hell.
That nigga was chapped. That ain't even polo. That's
right. But you can be fly as hell. I'm still gonna find something to talk about. So you couldn't really snap with me.
Chaps was kind of popular.
Yo, dudes like that, you gotta stay away from.
You couldn't snap with me, bro.
Yeah, they go
you couldn't snap with me.
And the niggas that was the poorest had the most jokes. I don't give a fuck, yo. The niggas that was fly, the niggas that was fly hit you with some fly shit. Like, nigga, my mama getting money. I got J's getting all that shit. The niggas that was broke, I let your ass have it. Cause we done heard all that shit. You done heard all that shit, nigga. We gonna light you up. Fuck out of here, nigga.
But yeah, man. So I was gonna dive into what a man should be in a relationship, but I feel like that's gonna put another.
He's scared.
Yeah, I'm definitely scared. I feel like it's gonna put a whole another hour and a half on the pod.
Nigga told me during the break. During the pre-pod, he told me he's like pre-pod. Nigga say, yeah, I kind of want to introduce him. He said, but you hurt. You hurt, and I know you got to.
See, morally, you couldn't let your man suffer like that on the cast, cause and y'all been telling him like, so ain't no telling.
It's over. So the Raptors
won the championship.
Kawhi coming back to Detroit next year.
Love is love.
I thought we had lost him for a second. Yeah. He had went there a little bit.
I went there?
Just a little bit.
No, both y'all tonight.
I've been chilling,
bro. We
bro.
start talking about the pay and he could be going here, then going tomorrow.
I be chilling, bro.
I was like, he's about to go.
So let's be real, bro, for like 2 seconds.
One.
Relationships. This nigga.
It's over.
Relationships don't break, or define you as a man, even with the shit that you do or don't do that's to someone's standard, even with your faults, even with your shortcomings, and even with the things that are good, bad, or evil. It's what defines you in that situation or after that situation is how you treat that next relationship, how you treat that next person, and what have you learned from the relationship prior. Like, as long as you can take that with you and it's taught you something to make you a better person, that's all that really matters. And that's all that really is. Like, even with every stage of life that we go through, the relationships ain't no different, man. So when I say that, I say this, like, we joke, we talk about all that shit and niggas going in and all that other. Like, this is just, it's like therapy, it's a venting session, but, you know, it's just a way to get off shit that you can't, like, you talk to yourself, but, you know, even them conversations run short sometimes. Sometimes you gotta get it out with other people, and like, once you finally get to a place of peace, that's all that really matters. So, we good, man. Everything is good on this side, bro.
I'm saying that. I'm saying that.
Yo, y'all be having the most trouble with the mic.
I don't. But
I don't know if this shit. My shit got a handicap. My shit got like a quadriplegic.
The problem is
the elbow don't work good.
The problem is y'all keep touching the motherfuckers. Leave the motherfuckers alone.
Cause niggas think moving the mic make it sound better. All this shit sounded like when you listen to it on the play. I be thinking it make it sound better.
It doesn't though. For y'all, it does. But this.
That's because you be whispering sometimes.
Right. But this, I'm saying this matters.
Midnight Love.
It don't.
No. I'm telling. Listen, I hit replay.
It don't.
But listen, this is how I feel about relationships. This is how I feel men in relationships. I feel like a couple things. One, I'm be quick too. One, that men, when you getting into a relationship, you can't, like Erykah Badu, bag lady, you gonna hurt your bag. You can't carry that baggage into the relationship.
Karaoke shit.
Yeah. Nah, she killed that though. Erykah Badu the worst that though. Yeah. But nah, you can't carry that baggage into a relationship. Now you can remember that you had that baggage. Now learn from that.
Yeah, it's important.
That's different. But I'm gonna say something else. Let's not ask for things that we ain't really ready to give in a relationship. We gotta stop doing that.
Be an expectation of your expectations.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say, so don't do that. I'm gonna say, and when you asking for something, make sure it's what you really want when you asking for it. Because a lot of times we might ask for something and think is what we want one day, and then change that up later on. But I think that's part of the process in developing that checklist that we're all trying to get to, and to really call ourselves men. Well, that's mine. And I'm gonna say lastly that you know, just because you make a mistake doesn't define who you are. So if you do something that a fuckboy might do one time, that doesn't define who you are as a person. And we learn from those things. We don't beat ourselves up too much, but we hold ourselves accountable, most importantly. And then we get better from that, and then we move forward. And that's what I feel about relationships and what it makes us a man.
So to piggyback off that last point,
No,
you
you
made,
can't, man. It's
no, I just want to say this.
It
I want to say this as the last point. Like what you just said in that last point.
minutes later.
No, listen. It reminded me. It reminded me of one of my favorite quotes from AI. My mistakes don't define who I am. It's only. Damn, you made me lose my fucking train of thought, man. Now wrap this shit up, man. I'm tipsy.
Yo, bring us home.
Fuck my whole little shit up, so I knew where the fuck I was going with it, jackass.
You should have been listening.
Yeah, I was listening. I was trying to piggyback off
I'm
of
dropping
nigga.
gems over here.
God damn it.
Go shopping.
Take us home. Take us home,
You
man.
thinking of rebels. You think it's round one on smack.
It's the reader, man. It's the reader.
And you gonna get this one.
Shut the hell up.
Yo, so that's another Deep Opinionated podcast from boys to men.
For that.
I hope y'all love the content. I really love the conversation. That was a really good conversation. Next podcast, we are doing What is Love? I really want to do that so we can talk about.
Oh, you niggas just want to have me cry out here. That's
We
what
don't
we
want
that's
that.
what niggas is. That's
No,
what
we
niggas.
don't want that. We want
Niggas don't
you
want me
just
to
want
bitch.
to talk
I just want me to
about.
open up about my little.
Nah, you ain't gotta tap on
So
that.
it's gonna be me in the podcast.
You know,
Just let me know when we record. That way I can be mentally prepared to be in love mode. You know what I'm saying? Let me be in love mode.
Nah, I really want to focus on like.
I got a playlist.
I want to focus on
Yeah.
what love looks like and why do we think love looks the way it looks. So.
Okay.
Damn, I thought we was coming from a gentle place with love. That nigga just said, "What does love look like?
Yeah.
What does it mean? We gonna fuck love up. That's what we about to do."
I'm not talking about the mushy shit. I'm talking about where did we get our idea of love?
I'm coming here with my mushy shit, bro.
Oh, man.
No.
You thought,
I'm
yo,
gonna cut
you
all this
thought
shit
they
out.
was telling tonight. You wait till next week when that episode drops.
Tune in next episode.
Tune in
next
episode. What is love? Deep
Snitching
Opinionated
part
podcast. We out. Snitching part 2. Yo, shout out to Coach.
Oh, shit. Shout out to Mr. Harvey.
Nigga,
Shout out to Miss Floyd.
Nigga, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah.
Nigga said snitching part 2.